Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to the second night of Mysterium at Bainbridge Estate. It's very exciting to be back here. Hi, I guess I should tell you who I am. I am Megan Caves. I will be your game master this evening. And yeah, so if this is your first time joining us for Mysterium, this game is based upon the board game Mysterium, or inspired really. And if you don't know what that is, it's an awesome board game. This is actually from the board game. A lot of the pieces I use are from the board game, which is kind of cool. It like works out for an RPG really well, in my mind. But it's all about a group of psychics who go to a house and they have a seance and they try to discover who murdered this particular ghost. So that's what the game is about. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. And that is what this show is based on. And we are using the Rises system, which is a rules light system that's really interesting. I'm still kind of figuring it out in some ways, but I like it. Rules light systems are interesting systems. I've only played a few of them, so it's fun to try different ones. So let's meet all of our lovely cast members here. And today, I want you guys to talk a little bit more about your cliches, because we didn't do that a whole lot last time. We just kind of barely touched on them. But yeah, talk about your cliches and a little bit about. You could talk about your hook if you want, any of that kind of stuff. And I think that's it, yeah. So we'll start with that, so we'll start with you.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Jordan Pridgeon, and I am today playing Horace Duncombe III, who is a proper English gentleman, who is a pendulum diviner. So he uses the motions of a pendulum to determine yes or no questions or examine maps and stuff like that. But he's also convinced that it is science, not supernatural, and that can explain it all. And so my hook is that I'm a scoffer. I'm a skeptic, to my detriment in many situations, which I'll play up a lot. I'm not subtle about it. So you'll figure that out. And then my cliches are pendulum divining, which is like I assume it also just kind of generally means his like study of the supernatural or the natural. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then I took Hunter at 2 because I imagine, you know, any like proper English gentleman is like a fox hunter. Mm-hmm. So and that's why he also has St. George, his dog. In fact.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna use my old buddy.
Right. I can't help you.
We'll get there eventually. Done.
If any of you watched Masks, a show we used to do, this was my character's dog Atlas, and now it's going to be my foxhound, St. George, despite looking like a pug.
It's not a pug. It's not a pug.
Yeah. So after Hunter, I also took Historian, because I kind of imagine that before he got into the supernatural like stuff, he was just a general scholar and, you know, read about English history and wars and what and all that. And then I took 3 cliche of like high society member, which I think is pretty obvious, right? Like that's clear.
Very
I think so.
yeah.
Yes, I'm.
Yeah.
Upper crust, snobbish blue blood. What?
And since I realized we should probably tell you what the cliches are, so let's jump back and we'll talk about Rises for just a second. So basically the Rises system, you describe your character, and then you give your character cliches. Thank you, Beacon, for the bits. You give your character cliches, and those cliches can really be anything, but you start the system off, you start your character off with 10 die. And you have a number up to 4 that you can put next to a cliche, and that is the amount of die. Nightsteed, thank you so much for the 25.
Oh, thank you for the tip.
But that's the amount of die you would roll for that particular cliche. So like Jordan said, he has pendulum divination or divining 4. So if he uses his pendulum, holy crap, James.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Thank you all for starting the night off right.
Right? But if he uses his pendulum divining, he would roll 4d6 for that. And it goes on from there. So if you have another cliche, it can be 3, it can be 2, it can be 1, whatever. That's the basic principle of it. For this system, there are actually a lot of different ways you can utilize this. You can do target number, so they would, like Jordan here, Horace, would roll his 4 die for pendulum divination and have to hit a target number. Or you can do opposed rolls. Opposed rolls are how the combat system works, which we can get into if it comes up. And I'm actually going to play a bit more with opposed rolls this time because after the seance, everything has gotten a little bit more oppressive in the house. So I think it makes sense here. So anyway, another thing I want you to tell everyone is how do you feel like, what do you think Horace is thinking of the other psychics at this point? How do you think he's feeling about them?
Horace is unsettled by everything that just happened in the seance, but he is nothing if not a stoic English gentleman. So he is quickly trying to find a way in his mind to rationalize it and keep it together. I think of the people that are here, I don't think he even really realizes that. Sorry, what was your character's name?
Ellie.
I don't think he even I think he thinks Ellie's here more as like a tourist, kind of. Obviously, he still thinks Vano is a charlatan, but is starting to see how useful he is. And I think that Madame Iris Moody, puts him off. She seems a little more legitimate than he, naturally thought. And there's something that feels, eerie about her.
I
that
like that.
that he's able to keep together because he would never admit that he, has superstitious thoughts, but that's his impression of things so far.
That makes sense. I like that. Cool. All right, well, what about you? Tell us your character and go through your cliches for us. And then same thing, tell us what you think Iris thinks of everyone else.
Okay. My name's Michaela. I am playing Madame Iris Moody, and she is empath. So my description of my character was she's observant, silently judges by feeling energies, looks as if she always has someone whispering in her ear, and often looks tired. Because being an empath, you just kind of feed off energies, and by the end of the day, you're worn out. My hook is that I overtell information, and I wanted to use that. I haven't really got to use it yet, but just more of I tell people information they didn't ask for.
Sure.
It just, to me, is very evident. So maybe something like if there were feelings between two people, I'd just overtell and make everyone uncomfortable.
It's like that character from, what was the recent movie? Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, what was it, Drax?
I forget her name.
Oh, no, the
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Very much
That's
that.
what it makes me think of.
Mantis.
Mantis.
Mantis, that's it.
Yeah.
I like it.
What? Yes, that's what I had in mind. My main
Thanks,
cliche.
Tom. Thanks.
Tom's fired.
My main cliche is empathy, so I'm able to do an energy read. It can be on a room, person, or a thing. And my second cliche is herbalism. So that comes in handy if we're trying to find something that was poisonous, or I'm not sure
Planty.
what else I was tea.
Plantius.
And then I have Snoop. So that also comes in handy. And then my last one's World Traveler. My character is someone who is hired and has been brought throughout to do energy reads and trying to connect people with their past loved ones.
And how do you think, or what do you think Iris is thinking of everybody else right now?
He's getting in the way.
I get results.
And throwing the energy way off. Vano is lovely. We have had very minimal interaction, but and I get a calmness from Ellie.
Nice, I like it.
Cool.
All right, what about you? Tell us who you are and all your things.
Oh, I am Heather Wood, and I play Ellie Baker, who is a flapper, party girl, and socialite. main cliches. Well, actually, the hook is that she will overdo it. I haven't really leaned into that as much as I probably can, so I'm going to look for that.
I'm about to have martinis.
And the martinis, that's a little bit in the direction I think, but I think we can... the main cliche is the automatic writing at a level 3, actually. Should be 4, but Ellie's not quite focused on the important things yet. Automatic writing, which we've seen. And then the next one is flapper it at a 4. Beads, boa, martini glass, chatting people up, anything the Charleston, anything flapperish is required can be used offensively, like on the offense, like as an attack. That would be good.
And upset people.
And upset people.
If we ended up in a dance-off.
Yeah, it's gonna be like all of it. And then the next cliche is knife wielding at a 3. I've got a little knife, concealed stiletto knife, because that's flappers are very stabby. And then the last one is obscure knowledge at a 1. I feel like Ellie would just every now and then she might pop out with something useful out of nowhere, but it's at a 1, so that's kind of where that is. So yeah,
that's awesome. And what do you think Ellie thinks of everybody right now?
Ellie's definitely out to have a good time. I think she does okay, so Horace, I think she's like he's a little uptight, and I think she wants to tease him a little bit and kind of get him to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like she'd love to, if she can get him to dance, it's like a win of her life. It's a pretty high goal, but I think she might like to poke fun at him a little bit here and there. Iris. I think there's there's a bit of respect for Iris too. I think Ellie thinks she's the real deal as well, like Horace does. And I think Ellie secretly wants to take Iris to all the parties and go snoop places and look at things and see what's going on with everybody. And then let's go to New York, or something like that. And then Vano is just a darling. He's so talented and so fabulous at performing. And oh my gosh, I saw him at the Fitzgerald's thing and it was great. That's kind of, so she's actually interesting that way. She's not looking, I don't know. She's actually pretty sunny, which is sunnier than most characters I'll play.
Oh, nice.
But, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, what about you?
So my name's Philip Rossi, and I am playing the great Vano. So Vano is kind of like a walking fortune teller stereotype, kind of that you see in the 20s, goes to parties and stuff. He's his main trait is his crystal ball gazing at a 4, so he does actually know how to do something. But it seems like most of the time he's trying to avoid that because his main hook, his flaw, is that he's terrified of death. So looking into the crystal ball, he's seen a lot of things that he wish he didn't. So he tries to avoid looking into the ball as much as possible and get away on his other 2 traits, main traits, which are magician and thief, both at a 3. So he's kind of spends a lot of time at parties, convincing people of all his great ability without actually doing anything. So spends a lot of all smoke and mirrors. And his 4th and last trait is Casanova at a 1. Like many Casanovas, his trait is much lower than he thinks it is. And he really tries to use it to get out of any bind, which we have seen to some effect, but mostly poor.
It's actually been really useful. It was useful last game.
Yeah.
That one, and then also botany was useful last game.
What do you think he thinks of the rest of the folks right now?
Well, I think obviously Vano and Horace have had they've known each other. They have sort of a background rivalry, shared disrespect. But I think they, at least from Vano's perspective, they both realize they kind of need each other to get through this situation. It's abnormal. You can't just BS your way through this seance, especially everything that just happened. So kind of begrudgingly will work with Horace. Ellie is great. That's Vano's dream audience is a room full of Ellies, young, attractive women who think he's amazing. So that's amazing. Madame Moody, I think, is the big wild card for Vano because he doesn't know where he stands. With Horace, it's very obvious, it's adversarial, and with Elliot, it's great. But it seems that his wiles have no real effect on Miss Moody, and he's being judged purely by his merits, which are not what Vano wants to do.
I like that everyone's I think we all kind of like each other, and we'll deal with horror. Stiff upper lip.
That's awesome. Okay, one other thing that I forgot to say beforehand, but let's go back around and describe what your character looks like. If it's anything different, if it's not, that's totally fine. But just give a little description of what you think your character looks like. And we'll start with you again, Jordan.
All right, Horace is in his 50s. He's graying. He's the sort of person who was very fit when he was younger, and it's sort of going to seed a little bit. So he's gained some weight, but you can still see that he used to be a strapping young, proper athletic Englishman. He also he has something of a military background, back from the war on the Crimea, and he tries to keep himself well kept and proper and sort of military-ish fashion.
Nice.
His fashion is a little old. Okay. He likes Victorian era sensibilities, and doesn't think that England should move on from those sort of things. That's what he looks like.
That makes sense. What about you? You have any thoughts?
I've pictured her, and she always dresses very smart. She normally has, I forgot the right ring, normally has a wedding ring on, and she's widowed. So she always has a sadness that kind of follows her as well. But dark lips, dark beneath the eyes, like I said, from being a bit tired all the time. But otherwise, pleasant.
Yeah. Sounds good. What about you? Anything else?
No, pretty much. I think that picture you had in the article is pretty Ellie. There's
somewhere.
Yeah, it really is. So curly blonde hair, the lip Cupid bow, the whole thing. She looks as very much every inch like a person you wouldn't necessarily take seriously until she stabs someone.
Oh my God, take her seriously now. Yeah, that's good. That was a good picture. I was like, oh my God, this picture is perfect.
So great.
This one? Oh no.
Tweeted it.
Is it this one?
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it from here, but you can see it on social.
I think they're scrolling.
This one.
Isn't that the picture that's? Oh, maybe not.
No, it's the one of her. There was another one that I used too. That's the one I've got here. Anyway, what about you, Vano?
So, Vano wears a semi-bejeweled turban. He has an outlandish mustache goatee combo, flamboyant in dress, probably with some sort of dressing / gypsy robe. Just looks really well, but I think, he's not doing quite as well as he wishes he were. So, some of his stuff has got some patches in it, and maybe it's not quite as shiny as it once was. He's trying really hard, and you can tell.
That's funny. Cool. All right.
I think of your look as being like the guy in The Wizard of Oz.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. He's great. I'm doing great. If I want to be out in Kansas, this is where I want to be.
Well, I was going to see what donations we got, but my candle is not turning on. It's just black.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Somebody has to come fix it. It probably needs to be plugged in. That would be my guess. Anyway, thank you, Jordan. While Jordan's doing that, I will tell you about the reward tiers. So the first one, I believe, is, I know we've got lucky shots, we've got rerolls, and then we have some other things that are there that, I don't know, maybe you just have to unlock and see what they are. But the, bless you. The lucky shots for this system basically just means that they can add one die to their die roll. And reroll is reroll as per usual. And that reminds me, does anyone have any leftover rerolls from last time? You have two. Anyone else have any?
I have one.
You have one. You already have it.
You.
No? Okay, good.
I didn't write it down.
Well, then you have none, I guess.
I'll do it.
Now what's it doing? Uh-oh, it's angry. Angry Kendall. Anyway, so yeah, check those out. You can see what is on offer in our tiers at !unlocks. And that actually segues into the point that here at Saving Throw, we are an independent channel, and we basically exist because you guys are out there enjoying what we do. So if you do feel like you want to tip just because you like what you see, that is great, but you also do get this extra benefit of unlocking things. So, and I know we have a few things unlocked once we get this started. I saw them, I promise. Is it working now?
Battery power's just too low.
Oh, battery's too low. Sorry, didn't know the battery was so low. How are you, Jordan?
Great.
Good. Jordan's right here. There are too many Jordans in here.
Right here. This is where Jordan.
Hold on, we're gonna have to do a complicated maneuver.
You have to do a complicated maneuver.
Back
You
foot.
just switch Jordan.
There's a Dawn at the table.
I'm hidden
A Dawn.
behind
Not a
the
Dawn.
Nobody knows he's
Dawn,
here.
not Dawn.
Yeah, you are hidden. You're hidden in that empty space.
Tomato.
All right. Well, then let's talk
Getting people's
about.
names wrong.
Let's talk about what happened last time. Then, when we wait for our reward. So last time, these four fine psychics all showed up at the Bainbridge Estate in Harrogate, England, because Lorraine, and actually I have a picture of Lorraine here. This is Lorraine. I'll put it down lower so you can see. Are you down here? Nope, you're not. Jordan's not. What's he doing? This is Lorraine. Anyway, she's the lady in the photo. There we go. Lady in the photo. And then, of course, that's Edwin, Aiden there. Aiden's a bit younger currently. Ooh, thank you, Keith. David Mitchum.
We're going to appreciate that when we figure out what the tiers are.
Right, yeah, we are. We are indeed. Anyway, so, beep. Oh, is that? So she sent each of these psychics a letter because she'd recently, her and her family had recently relocated to Bainbridge Estate because they had to sell off all of their other homes, and some strange things were happening. There was a history at Bainbridge Estate that Edwin here, his uncle, had a horrible tragedy that happened 30 years prior in 1894, where his young daughter Caroline died from a tragic accident, and then a week later he and himself and his wife both committed suicide. So it was this huge event that happened. Harrogate is not a very big town. It was a horrible, horrible thing, and the family decided to close down the estate after that point. So no one has actually lived there for these 30 years, because now it's 1922. This is not really somewhere they wanted to live, but it was their only option, as it was the only property they had left. And now that the family is living there, all these things are happening. At least that's what Lorraine has said. She has a much smaller staff, but the staff seems to have experienced something strange as well. And her husband, Edwin, has secluded himself, and her son has become ill, and they've only been there for a month, but everything seems to be not going very well. So she has called in these psychics for help because she has nowhere else to go. And they came and met each other, and some strange things happened, but weren't quite sure what they meant. And they discovered a few little bits of information. You found candy in Aiden's room.
That's right.
That
Candy, the most suspicious of all clues.
in a child's room? I mean,
Well, candy that only his father brings him.
Yeah.
and then this day ended with a seance that, I mean, you know, I guess it depends on what you think is a successful seance, but some crazy shit happened in that seance, and it culminated with a chandelier falling on the table. And that's where we ended last time. So everybody, we don't really know how everyone reacted to that. Is there anything that I missed that you guys want to add to that recap? I think that was mostly everything.
So we checked the candy wrapper, and there's possibly something odd about
Yeah,
it.
you noticed something odd about the candy wrapper. Mhm.
It might be poisson.
Fish? It could be fish. You're right.
It could be fish.
I mean, you shouldn't have fish in your candy. I don't know what kind of
No
candy you're
fish
eating.
candy.
No
Swedish
fish candy. Okay, we got the Kindle back. All right, so tier 1 has been unlocked, which means that there's some whispers happening. Some whispers. We'll, you know, see what that means here in just a moment. I'll get to that in just a second. Also, tier 2, which means we have 2 lucky die. So those will be right out here. 2 lucky shots.
Nice.
So you guys, that's for the table. Use. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We also have re-rolls, 2 re-rolls for the table. So those are also out here. Everyone can use those for everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, those whispers are a little more intense as well. Some more whispers might have been unlocked. And then we also got our other 2 lucky shots. So you guys have all the lucky shots and 2 more re-rolls.
Yay!
So you guys,
We thought it was great the first time,
you guys better not die.
and everything doubled.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Okay, well, let's take care of these whispers here for just a moment. So I'm just going to do a thing back here. Don't mind me.
All right.
Okay, so I'm just going to pass that to you there. Anyway, and then, yeah, one more. Oh, let's see. And then, yeah, I'm just going to pass that right to you.
Sure.
All right, so
Okay.
let's begin. As I said last time, we ended with the seance. And we need a little mood sound here. There we go. Perfect. All right. After that happened, everyone, of course, was very shaken by the events. And you all kind of decided to get a good night's sleep. And you would proceed in the morning.
We wanted to go to sleep.
Yep.
Okay.
Wanted to go to sleep. I mean, I don't think you immediately were like, well, I'm tired. It's time to go to bed now. I think, it was one of those things where it was too intense and nobody quite knew what to do in the middle of the night. So it seemed better to take a step back and reconvene in the morning. And that's definitely what Lorraine wanted to do. She was very shaken by it all and couldn't handle any more for the evening. So you all went about your ways, did your thing. And it is now breakfast time, and you all are coming down to the dining room to meet, eat, and decide what you are going to do for the day. So I'll let you all decide if there's anything you want to do before you go into the dining room, or if you want to just go there, you don't have to do anything. Certainly. No? Okay. So we'll say that you all sort of filter in slowly and sit down at the table. You all are, this is the dining room here, which was the same room that you were in last night, but the staff managed to clean up the chandelier and the destruction as best they could in the night and early this morning so that the family could enjoy their breakfast in the dining room. But as you're sitting there, you see that a few dishes have been brought out. But then the butler comes in and he's carrying something he kind of sees all of you and it just seems huffy, very huffy. And he kind of sets things down a little harder than maybe he would normally. And he kind of glares at everyone and then he walks back out through the door to the kitchen. And then you see the maid come in and she looks nervous. I mean, she's always a little nervous, but it's different. There's more nerves there. It doesn't seem quite as playful as it was before, and she sets a few things down. And you also see the cook, who's someone you haven't seen yet. Oh, and we have cook photos. The cook comes in carrying more things. This is the cook. She's probably not as evil as she looks there, but take it as you want. Here's the cook, right here.
For these and other characters, you
Right.
can buy the Mysterium board game.
Yep, this is Mysterium. Yeah, so we
Not a
have our other
sponsor of this
characters here.
show.
They're not. Although I do tweet at them all the time, so they're seeing it. But I'll put these folks down here. We've got all of our folks so you guys can see them. Yeah, and she also seems, I mean, you all haven't met her before, so you don't necessarily know what she's like. But she seems a little edgy as well, much like the maid is. And they all kind of set everything down, and the cook says, well, I hope that you enjoy your meal. And she kind of nods at you and goes away. But the butler stays in there. And if he could cross his arms, I mean, he's a very good butler, so he's not going to do that. But if he could cross his arms, he would be doing this, and he would just be glaring at all of you. But it's pretty quiet, so the family is not down.
So, can I ask, would I call this breakfast a right proper English breakfast?
Oh yeah, definitely. As much as they could.
Right proper English breakfast. Just wanted to make sure it was before I said that. and looked like an idiot.
Yeah, that's very important. It's good that you did that. But yeah, it's the family's not here, but the butler, he says, well, you should go ahead and eat because I don't know if they're going to come down today. after all of that ridiculousness that happened last night?
Well, I don't know if I'd call it ridiculousness. Of course.
Oh, of course you wouldn't.
Well, if there's anything that's become innately clear in this entire situation, it's that there's a great deal of imbalance in this entire establishment.
Is it that, or is it that you all have come here to completely pull one over on the family?
I'm sorry, you seem to have forgotten that we were invited here, not the other way around.
You are quite right. Excuse me, I forgot my place, but I just am very protective of this family, and I think that you are potentially utilizing a moment of weakness to, I don't know, gain some sort of fortune or something like that.
Well, your loyalty is well placed, but I do not believe that you have anything to fear from us. The only one here who has ever deceived people for fortune was Varno, and he has not been very successful at it.
Oh, he's fabulous at everything. You see him at the last. Oh my God, did you see him?
Thank you for
That's great.
Keep yourself
What you
together,
did at
man.
Rockefeller's party is amazing.
It's just been a very trying time.
Well,
Maybe we should start then.
so as the butler is still kind of like being huffy but trying to remember his place, Lorraine comes down, and she does seem quite a bit just like she probably didn't get very good sleep last night, but as together as she can be. And she sits down at the table with all of you and gets some food, and she says, "Well, I hope that you all slept all right. I don't know if that's possible. Nightsteed, thank you very much for the sub, or the resub. 12 months, that's awesome.
Good man.
But I think that as horrible as everything that happened last night was, it's heartening in some ways, because I feel like maybe you're getting somewhere. So hopefully this is just the first step in this whole process, and I know that it is always darkest before the dawn, as they say, so hopefully we're just in that part of the evening. I guess maybe we can just go back through anything that you all know, or if you have any questions, and sort of figure out where we are and what the next step should be. So you all know, I think we went over this yesterday, but you all know that, you know, what happened here before at this house, right? With my husband's uncle and his family.
Yes.
Yes. So I mean, you all are the experts, but my assumption is that it has something to do with them. Does that seem like something you all have run into before?
Well, dramatic instances like that do tend to leave larger impressions of ectoplasmic residue. When emotions are particularly high, they leave more emphatic traces behind them, and which seems to have very heavily expanded in the situation where we triggered it last night.
Oh.
Now, from my own readings on the area, I believe that it seems that the ectoplasmic imbalance is all throughout the house, but, and Ronnie, was I right about this? It was focused in the master bedroom, right?
You noticed with your pendulum that there was something
But it
focusing.
did seem as though there were something of a focus in the master bedroom.
Master bedroom.
Yes. Does it have any connection to, besides being where they presumably slept?
Well, I mean, honestly, any of the things I've felt in this house have been all over the house. There have definitely been some strange things happening in the master bedroom, but overall, at least when I'm in there, it actually seems a bit more positive. At least sometimes, but I don't know, it's so hard to tell what any of it is.
Yes, well, many of these things can be interpreted multiple ways by our less than refined intuitions. So, finding out exactly how the residue is expressing itself could take some time.
So you're saying that there's just some sort of leftover residue from the people who were here before?
More or less. It's more complicated than that, but that is the simplest way to express it to the layman.
Dear lady, I don't want you to worry. We are here to help, and we will find what the problem is.
I'm very glad that you are here for that, and
Quite so.
I appreciate it because I think that my son is getting worse, and especially after everything last night, I don't think that Edwin already wasn't super happy with my decision to call you all in, and I think that he's less happy now, but he's been quite strange as of late anyway, so I kind of feel like he's somehow involved. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense, but...
My lady, you have said that your son is getting worse.
Yes, he just, as far as I can tell, everything that happens, nothing helps. The coughs are worse, and he seems weaker, and I've even noticed some hair falling out.
Has he seen a physician?
Yes, I've taken him a few times, and the doctor has also come here a few times, but it just seems there's nothing specific. He'll give him a few medicines that seem to be fairly generic to help.
But nothing has worked.
Nothing has worked. Not yet, at least.
Oh my.
Yes, it's quite awful.
Your husband,
Yes.
do you ever join him in his study?
No, not really. That's normally where he goes to write and take care of whatever business it is he has for the day. And usually he comes back down to the sitting room or we meet in the dining room, although he's spent more and more time there these days, so I mostly leave him alone. Why, is there something about the study?
Well, I heard him speaking to someone in the study.
You heard him speaking to someone? Well, I will say that I have noticed just occasionally that he just seems to be mumbling to himself a lot, but I didn't ever think of it as him speaking to someone. Do you think he's seen one of the spirits here?
Sorry, ma'am, I apologise. I must still be waking up.
Oh, all right.
I thought I saw something strange, but it was
you saw
merely a trick of the light.
in the room?
No, not to bother.
All right. Okay. Yes, but beyond that, I don't know. I mean, it does get a bit over-involved when he's writing, so sometimes I think he...
So was this a behavior before you moved into the house?
No, not to the degree. I mean, he would get obsessed with things, but he was never so secluded in the same way. He would always come down at some point throughout the day, at least, and spend some time with Aiden, if not both of us. But he's just done that less and less. He seems angry, and that's not like him.
My lady, I want you to know that you are in Vano's hands, and he will do everything he can to help you.
I really appreciate that.
Vano spoke with Aiden the other day,
Yes.
and he has said that sometimes a small girl visits him in his room.
Oh, yes. Well, he's mentioned that to me as well. I assumed it was Caroline because that makes sense. Unless, I mean, there's no other children here on the property. None of the staff have any children.
His deceased cousin.
Well, yes, that's the best I can figure, unless there's some child sneaking in here, but I can't imagine that. But I just thought it was an invisible friend. You think that do you think it could actually be Caroline?
Children are known to have active imaginations, especially those who are isolated from others of their age.
True.
I do think it's Caroline.
You do?
I do.
Well, do you think that he's in any danger of her?
But
I think from her.
He has said sometimes things are thrown about his room, but in general he seems to enjoy his time he has with them.
You all right, Miss Vano?
Vano is fine. It's fine. There's nothing to worry about.
All right. Okay.
Compose yourself, Vano.
It's all right. He's very sensitive. He's an artist.
Well, it has been a very rough few days, so it's completely understandable. I know the feeling. Is there anything else that you will need from me today? Anything I can do to help this process?
Perhaps just leave to wander the estate and observe the places that Horace has illuminated.
Oh,
Indeed.
Yes, of course. You can go to any part of this house that you need to go to. The staff is at your disposal. Anything you need. If you need anything from me, please let me know. But the staff can also help in any way that you need them to today. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Well, if that is all you need from me right now, then I will take my leave and go check on Aiden. But yes, please let me know if there's anything else I can help you with.
Thanks.
Have no fear, lady. Vano is on top of it.
But well, that's good. That's why you're here. So I appreciate that.
Yes.
So she will leave, and you all are left alone.
Go pour like a cup of coffee, drink it, and pour another cup of coffee. Not really a morning person. You know what
I
I mean?
have tea because I'm fucking English.
So real quick, we have a reroll from Nightsteed, and it will go to the Great Vano.
Thank you, Steve.
And then
Your charlatanry deceives another.
apparently those whispers are getting louder. So now I'm just going to pass this to you. And they're even louder, apparently, so then I will also pass that to you. All right. So, you all have been left alone in the kitchen. The staff, while Lorraine was talking, has come and cleared away all of the plates, and they have gone about their daily business. You all can choose where you would like to go at this point.
Well, we have to begin somewhere, and since, despite seeming that the imbalance in the house is somewhat widespread, and the initial impressions that I got were that the master bedroom was perhaps a central location. Now, if no one has any objections, I believe it would be a good place to begin our investigations.
Not at all. I think the quicker we resolve this conflict, the quicker we can leave and perhaps go someplace
Of course.
to dry climate.
Please take your dog with you.
Oh, yes. Come say, George. And I throw him a sausage, which I kept, a banger.
Oh, only two of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, only two of them are unlocked. I misread that. I saw 4 and thought you were talking about. So never mind.
say.
Yeah.
Unknow them.
Unwhispered.
But it's okay. We'll see. I mean, if you guys want to see what that was. Just saying.
Well, now, keep...
So I guess I will follow Horace to the...
So you guys are leaving to go to the master bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you leave, you exit the dining room here and you go out into this foyer. And as you are getting ready to continue on, you hear something. And you see a red ball bounce all the way down the stairs.
Perhaps Aiden is feeling better.
I dare say the child has lost his toy.
I will... Perhaps we can return it to him on the way to the master bedroom. One who has such...
Wait.
What is it that we are waiting for?
You hear that?
It sounded like laughter for a second.
So, perhaps the child is heartier than we have given him credit for.
Oh,
You sound young for Aiden, though.
So that laugh that you heard very much sounded like it was coming from right up the stairs where the ball came down from.
oh
The
perhaps
ball.
that's good news.
It was just resting on the floor.
I'll reach down and pick up the ball.
Okay. It seems like a normal ball to you.
Aiden, Vano has another trick to show you. I'll walk up the stairs.
Okay, so you go up all the way to the top of the
Yeah.
stairs?
I'll
All
go
right,
with you.
whenever you get there, you don't see anything. But a little further down the hallway, you hear this laugh again.
Is it coming towards Aiden's room?
It's just going down the hallway, so it could be, but everything is that direction.
Perhaps he's feeling better than we thought. All right. Aiden, let Vano show you another trick. I'll pursue him down the hallway.
You're gonna continue down?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess we're following him up
following
the stairs
him?
and everything.
Yeah.
I'll
I think
hide the
so.
ball so I can produce it magically,
Okay.
should need be.
All right, so you guys continue on a little way. You still don't see Aiden. You still don't see him, but you do happen to hear this.
Come now, Aiden.
You don't see Aiden. But you
This is
still hear
not-
this whisper.
Yeah.
Aiden's voice, what is?
Well, perhaps the child is playing some sort of trick on us.
Well, as you hear that creak, you notice a big grandfather clock in front of you, and the front of the grandfather clock has opened. It's the front door, so you could see the inside.
Do you want me to do?
Oh, were you gonna? Sorry.
No, go for it.
I was gonna do some. Could I do some automatic writing to see if I can ask who was whispering? Who was whispering?
Who was whispering? Sure. So you're reaching out to your spirit guide, and so the way this will work now is, generally speaking, because, like I said before, because everything's sort of gotten more tense here at the house, and something seems to be aware in a different way here in this house, as far as you all can tell. Then it is a little more intense. There's sort of a fog here for you all to use your abilities. So we will be, generally, I will be rolling 2 die against you. So it's an opposed roll against whatever it is that you are going against. So make your roll and tell me what you're asking. And you're asking who it was.
Who was whispering? Who was doing the echoey whisper?
Okay, all right. So make your roll. You just have to beat my 3, which you did!
Not much to be.
Right with an 8. Okay, so you put your pencil to paper and you prepare yourself to receive whatever this is from your spirit guide, and you start to write in circles, and then you start to write a word, and you write C-A-R-R-Y.
Carrie. So the whispers are Carrie.
What's in the grandfather clock?
When you look in there, you actually see there is a pad of numbers 0 to 9, and it looks like there's a safe in the clock.
Is there a pendulum?
I mean, there is a clock pendulum.
A divine pendulum?
I don't know if it's divine so much as it's, just...
I could divine it.
You could. You could divine that pendulum.
So there's a safe in the clock?
Yeah, it's sort of like, almost looks like it was set behind the clock, and the clock, like, it was kind of put together, so it may go into the wall a little bit.
I could do an energy read through to see which of the numbers are hot, but then I wouldn't know the order.
That's still pretty cool, though.
Well, Vano has many tricks. Perhaps if you give him some space, Vano could use his abilities to sense out the numbers. But Vano cannot reveal his ways, so if you could kindly turn your backs.
No, we are here to help these people, not rob them, Vano.
Vano has no intention of robbing these people.
Well, then I think perhaps I will not turn my back.
Merely to investigate.
And you can investigate under the eyes of God and man. He gives you a dagger stare.
I attempt to return it, but it's very...
It doesn't work.
Very well, then I will use more mundane methods for a more mundane mind. Alright, I will pull out my lockpick and attempt to make a lock.
Okay. So as you look at
Is it like a safe with like a... Okay.
it's just a pad with numbers, so you actually
Okay.
don't see anywhere for you to put lockpicks.
Okay. Alright.
Maybe you guys can work together.
Yes, perhaps if
she can get impressions of like which ones have been used, and you can.
yeah, I can run the numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to try to get impressions. So this is going to be pretty hard because you're not sure when this was used last. So you're going to be rolling against 3 die. Yep, one's on the floor now. You're going to be rolling against these 3 die for your empathy.
And mine's gonna be 4. Correct?
Yours is 4. Oh, and I do ace as well as you do, so I got 1 6. So you can go ahead and roll your die.
Ooh!
I got a 6.
Martial aces. Oh, wait.
Ooh.
You know the martial.
So you can re-roll. So count what you have there and then re-roll that.
Count with this?
Yes. So you've got
10.
Yeah.
What is that? 2, 17.
It is. I have to.
Yes.
I can't.
17.
I can't do this under pressure. It's all simple
17.
math. Okay, hold on. 6.
The 17.
Yep.
yeah. So re-roll your 6
Okay.
One that was good with numbers.
I hate.
because I'm also not good with numbers. You got 5, which puts you at 22, and I got a 20. So
Oh, close!
yeah, very close. All right, so you go over and touch the numbers, and you notice that it's less. It actually feels like this has not been used in a long time because it's really, really hard to get anything heat-wise, especially from this. But you do feel like that it's leaning a little bit more to the numbers that are 4 and below. Pretty much every single one of those just on that side.
Okay. Vana, see if you can use. It's just a straight through with a 1, 2, 3, and 4.
There's also a 0 on this. No, this keypad, just so you know.
And 0.
Just, alright. I'm gonna attempt to, like, try to work it out in my head. Maybe it's an address. A lot of times, numbers on safes are dates. So see if I can run through anything that makes sense, and I'll start trying to work my magic.
Okay.
And by magic, I mean thievery.
Okay. So you're gonna try to do thievery?
Yeah.
Okay. So because you're guessing, I'm gonna make this rolling against a 4. 4 die, because this is pretty tough.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one of these.
You take one of those. Nice. Lucky die, one lucky shot. There you go. All right. Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's a reasonable roll.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. So 6. I got 12.
I have 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm gonna have to re-roll.
Yeah.
You get it? Oh, you aced.
Yeah!
Oh,
You
yes.
pretty much
10,
already passed that.
17.
Ah.
Okay, that's 22.
Okay. So you
Yeah. Thank you.
you punch in
So great.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Nothing happens. And you continue to try a few different things. You continue. Nothing happens. So what you begin to realize with your information is that there are probably some double numbers here. But you are still unable to open it this way.
Well, perhaps then we can continue our investigation of the ectoplasmic imbalance in this house instead of trying to pry into their values.
Horace,
This
you give
could be
up
very
too.
important.
Yeah.
You give up too easy.
I'm curious anyway.
Something about me, something makes me believe that whatever it is not locked in this safe.
Would your pendulum be able to tell us the order of the numbers?
Well,
With your science
they
and
have been
everything?
used, and perhaps I can figure out which of them has gone through the most frequent usage. Give me a moment.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and hold it and figure out which one is doubled.
Is doubled? Okay.
Yes, and so that I can add to the collective knowledge.
Okay. I like it. Okay, so this one we'll say is so you're essentially asking I think you'll have to be more specific since this is a yes or no. So if you want to ask like, is 0 doubled? Is 1 doubled? Or something like that so it can be a true or false yes or no.
Sure.
That makes
yes.
sense? Okay.
Could I perhaps like put each of the numbers on a piece of paper and have it go towards like if it's in 4 cardinal directions, could I have it go towards 1, or is that too much info?
You could try that. You could try that, or you can ask it multiple times.
Okay.
Or you could try both if you really wanted to. Any of those things would work. Yeah, because you can essentially use the pendulum as sort of a dowsing rod in that way.
Yeah, that's kind of how
Yeah.
I imagined it there.
Yeah, you could do that if you wanted.
All right, so I'm gonna try and do it that way, where I like put the 4 numbers in on the cardinal directions on a piece of paper.
Okay, well, this will just be 2 rolls. This is pretty straightforward for what you do.
Okay.
All right. 9, and I aced. I aced again.
No!
Oh!
That's a problem.
12, let's see, 12 plus 9 is 21.
No!
22. Where'd you go?
It seems as though my talents are not particularly good for thievery.
Well, whenever you put it down basically over the paper, what you notice is that it just kind of, you can't tell anything distinct. It seems like it's getting, it kind of goes to every number more than you expect it to. So it's just hard to tell if there's a particular one.
Perhaps the general buildup of necroplasm in the vicinity is throwing off the ability to narrow down any particular number.
I'm gonna see if I can roll and get the numbers written out there.
Okay, so you're going to ask your, what specifically are you going to ask your spirit guide?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I can ask for the code. If that counts as several numbers counts as a word.
You can ask that. You can ask.
Might ask for just the.
Sure.
I'll ask for the
Yeah.
code.
Okay, so this is pretty typical for you, so I'll roll 2 die.
Okay.
At this point, Horace is mostly convinced that you just write like whatever you want to have written.
I aced again. So did you.
So he would be pretty impressed if you get the code.
It was fun.
I got 14.
I got 14 as well.
Oh. So I'm pretty sure
Now you guys
ties,
have to fight.
right? Yeah, we have to fight at the end. So ties and rises are just rerolls, basically. I think you
Okay.
can do it multiple different ways. We're just going to do it again. So
Like
that we
that.
don't have
I
a
like
tie.
it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
All right. I got an ace again.
Ooh, I did not.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, I did not. I'm gonna do a reroll.
Reroll it.
All right,
You know,
get us that code.
I'm gonna take one of these too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Ugh.
Oh no.
8. Jeez. 12. Ugh.
Well, you just got over it.
Good, right?
That's
Right.
right. Yeah,
Okay, I was like thinking 14. Oh my gosh,
you
I'm
got
so
it.
excited.
All right. Oh, actually, it's still away.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. All right. So close.
I appreciate you trying though. For our good. Oh, what? It goes back into the pie. Guess we can keep using it.
Don't look, Megan. Okay, so I'll put this back.
This one's not science.
You start to write, like you always do, and a word starts to come, and you notice it says fall.
Fall.
Well,
Perhaps would it? Can I roll a historian roll to know if I would know, like, the alphanumeric combination?
Yeah.
Certainly.
Sweet.
That kind of thing
You
is.
certainly can.
I might have heard of Mr. Bell's new invention, and it's somewhat connected, blah, 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 numbers, letters.
Yeah. Okay, I'll roll
Oh,
2
that's
against
true.
this. Seems like something you could know.
Roll better.
Wow, I got 2.
Yes, I got a 1 and a 3. Better than that.
All right. Yes. So what is it that you're wanting to do? You're wanting to.
I
see
just
if
want
you
to
can-
know if I realize that, like our phones today have, or like, you know,
Letters.
touch tone phones. I guess our phones today don't really have it anymore. But you know, when it was like 1-800-CALLATT. I want to know if I know that.
Yeah, you. What you think about is that sometimes people use numbers to correspond to a word.
Yes, well, I think that there's a particular code that has been set aside for these. Yes, I think the numbers probably, and
So I want to try. So what would it be? I don't
Line up.
remember.
The word
Well,
she
then.
found was fall.
Fall. So even on the rotary phone, A, B, C, D, E, F. So 2,
So try,
1.
if you will, 2, 1, 4, 4.
Or 0. Does it start at 0?
Yes, there is a 0 on this pad.
I don't know if the 0 has numbers associated with it though. On the
Yeah,
phone, it says it's operator.
I'm not sure.
1.
What does my historian roll think?
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either. Yes, well, I'm somewhat new to this. Mr. Bell and Mr. Edison constantly fighting over their new discoveries and such. But I believe if that is correct, which I am somewhat dubious of, then that would indicate a code of 2144. It's worth a try.
I'll put it in.
With flair.
Yeah, with
Nothing happens.
Ah, yes, as I expected. Nonsense.
So, all the things you've tried so far didn't work. But because you know how your spirit guide works, you think that maybe your spirit guide was unable to give you something that specific because they might not know what exactly the code was, but they could sense it. Because you're always reaching out to a guide in the spirit world. It's not necessarily the spirit direct.
Okay. Okay.
And you also know, since you got this, that the spirit who is helping you is Carrie. And Carrie, having only ever gotten to age 6, you realize probably doesn't know how to get into the safe herself. So,
Okay.
Fall.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I also can write nonsense on pieces of paper. If we have no further leads here, then perhaps we should simply ask our host if he will let us into his secret safe. Although I would not be surprised if he was not as open to the idea.
There's no reason to disparage Miss Baker. Perhaps,
Yeah.
perhaps somewhere in the house, the code to the safe is written down,
Yeah.
and I could find where that code is written down.
Yes, well.
Oh.
I will pull out. I'm gonna attempt to check the crystal ball and see it.
okay.
It'll point me in the direction of where to find it.
Of where to find it, so that's what you're asking? Okay. Okay. All right, so you pull out your crystal ball, and look at that crystal ball! And yeah, you are trying to
When he does that.
see if you can figure out where this code is. And you also know, that the visions you see are very subjective.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll your die. We'll roll against 2. You got a 6, which means you ace. I got 10 total.
Yay!
Yay. Very good. All right, so in your crystal ball, as you gaze deeply into it, this is what you see.
You see 2 birds of different colors. One black on a misty clouds, and another white like a dove in front of red like autumn leaves. Also, there are some bowls like cows in the fog. Perhaps I am picking up on Horace's bullshit.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, how droll.
Maybe it's outside.
Or perhaps.
For you, though, whenever he said a few of those things, something just jumped out at you in what he said. That made you think of what was written on her page. And the rest of you might have noticed it too, but you just got, it was like a feeling that came at you. Something he said is a lot closer to what it is you need to find to get into the safe.
I'm gonna be honest, and
That's okay. You don't actually have to. But yeah, this is the vision.
Totally peeked at it too. I was like, huh? Like, right.
Peek at it.
We have encountered a series of birds in the house, perhaps. When that bird cage was taken, it had some connection to this code.
What about the birds that you were talking about? The birds in the room?
Yes.
Yes.
Are there missing birds? I heard about this when we were talking last night over martinis. I don't remember everything, but
Perhaps the room in which the birds were in.
yeah.
So this is one thing too, that all of your powers work a whole lot better together. So take into consideration each element. So you've got the bird part, but there's more there too. And you also have the word that you got, and the feelings that you got, and the information that you have.
Like leaves, autumn, birds.
Trees.
I just got a bunch of random jibber jabber.
It's so funny being over here and just it's funny. It's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. No. You guys are very smart. It's a difficult puzzle. So you all continue to think about this, and you, as everyone is saying these words again, sort of repeating what they say, you keep getting, there's a particular word that keeps jumping out at you, and you're trying to pinpoint what it is. But as you do, you start to get the sense of death. And, but not, it's more like death of renewal. It's like things changing. It's a time of change. Things feel cold, but none of it's necessarily bad. It just feels like moving on to the next thing. And there's something that he keeps saying that really jumps out at you there, and it jumps out at you more than anything else. And it doesn't just have to be you, if any of that means anything. And the same thing in the photo, just of a time of change and death and renewal and cold.
So autumn, fall.
Yes, what?
And as you were thinking about the letters corresponding to numbers, you realize that maybe you just had the wrong word.
Harumph. What?
Leaf?
What is it? Leaf. Perhaps, yes.
That's lower
Yes,
numbers.
it's all a connection. Instead,
Leaf.
try this. 4, 2, 1, 2.
Dumb. It's a repetition of 2.
4, 2, 1, 2. Perhaps the person said the word that is being spelled is leaf. L-E-A-F, it would mean fall. It sounds like the birds and the change. I don't know how to do with what I found, but
Okay.
So poetic
yes, well,
for a science guy.
I've read Coleridge.
So you put the numbers in, nothing happens.
It continues to be poppycock.
So as you think about it again, you realize that, yes, Alexander Graham Bell came up with this new thing with putting multiple letters per number, but maybe but you also remember that there was a system before that where it wasn't multiple letters per number.
Yes, perhaps,
Maybe like Morse code.
or like A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Something like that.
Ridiculous! Too simple! How would we ever spell something with such a symbol?
English is not my first language,
And it
so
would-
I cannot be expected to come up with these answers.
But that would be 4 and lower. That's the problem. Is 4 and lower. Right?
Yes, well, we haven't taken 0 into account. Here, 1, 2.
Change, new, death, but not.
Perhaps.
Yes, this is a very, very tough one.
All right. I want to try and do a pendulum thing to just figure out what the first number is.
Okay. Okay.
To
So
see
how
if
do
we
you
can
want
build
to
off
do
of
that? How do you want to do that? Do you want to put like all of the numbers on a page again, like 0 through 9, and see which, and just basically ask the pendulum which one the first one is, or are you wanting to ask directly, is the first number 1? Things like that. Something that can be answered yes or no, true or false.
Yeah. So I think I will put 0 and 1 like next to each other, and just ask it if it's either of those. Like, see if it will move towards.
And you're
those.
asking specifically what the first number is.
Yes, I just
Okay.
want to know where it starts.
Okay, 0 or 1. Those are the two. Okay. So I will roll my 2 die,
Okay.
and you roll yours.
That's right.
I got a 10.
I got more than
You
10.
got more than 10.
Yes.
Okay, so you hold
I
your
got 13.
pendulum up. Very good. You hold your pendulum up,
Not a particularly lucky number, but I'm not one for superstition.
and you wait for it to still, and then you wait to see which one it goes closer to, and it does in fact go closer to 1.
Can I try a number?
Yes.
Right. like to put in 1, 2, 1, 2, 0, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 4.
And the safe opens.
What? All right, wait, what?
Perhaps you need a magician to do some things.
Yes,
So, the safe opens. And
Well done.
inside the safe,
Well done.
yes, well, I assume if you press enough random buttons long enough, eventually.
that is inside the safe.
Wait, explain.
Will he
Jordan
explain
wants
it?
to know.
Do you want me to tell you?
Wait, or give me the numbers again.
You want the numbers?
I'll give him the numbers
Give me
again.
the numbers.
Okay. The numbers are 1, 2, 1, 2, 0, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 4.
Seems to be the journal of the.
I don't fucking know.
What's the man's name?
That's Edwin.
It spells out fall.
Silas is the previous. I keep losing all my things. This is Silas. He's the previous.
Oh, he's the previous. Silas? Mm-hmm. It seems to be a journal that belonged to Silas.
Perhaps you could read it.
Which one was Silas again?
He is
The older brother?
No, he's
died?
Edwin's
Carrie's
uncle. He's the
father.
Yes, Caroline's
I should
This
remember
is-
that. Too
That's
many.
him if you guys want to.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Too many
That's that
martinis.
The previous master of the house.
Yes. Yes, you all can read it aloud if you would like.
Yes.
Okay. The first entry is June 2nd, 1894. I've returned home, hopefully for good this time. Being stationed in Khartoum was grueling and prefer to never be a part of such failure again. Elizabeth and Caroline seem well. I wish I could fully express to them how much joy seeing their faces bring to me. There's nothing better in the world. I'm looking forward to having much more time to devote to Carrie. She has grown so much since I last saw her. But she's still the same precious handful she always was. August 25th, 1894. The nightmares won't stop. It's every night now. If it wasn't for a dream of
Dram.
of
Yeah, his handwriting's hard.
Bladnock?
Bladnock?
What is that?
It's a scotch.
Okay.
Oh,
If it wasn't
Nice.
for
quiet.
a good dram of Bladnock, I don't think I'd ever sleep. I know things haven't been the same since my return, but I think Elizabeth, Carrie, and I are reacquainting ourselves well. I just wish I could sleep. September 20th, 1894. They are infuriated. Elizabeth dotes. There we go. It is a difficult font.
Difficult handwriting.
Elizabeth dotes on Caroline too much. She's a little brat who needs to learn some manners. But wait. No, she's just a child. A 5-year-old child. I've been too hard on her. It must just be stress. I can't let it get to me this way. I'm home now. I need to be here, present, not listening to the past in my head. November 29th, 1894. These thoughts won't stop. She won't stop. I don't know what I'm fighting anymore. December 8th, 1894. She's in my head. No, that's not. It's Carrie. Carrie just won't listen. She's going to get herself into trouble, and she's going to have to deal with the consequences. No. That's not right. That's not right. That's not mine, but it's true. We baby her. Elizabeth babies her. It isn't right. Nothing is right. And that is the last entry.
Quite a cheery diary.
Sounds like the ramblings of a woman slowly losing her mental stability.
Well, it was a man.
Was it?
Horace.
Well, then man.
I thought it was Elizabeth
The
and
husband.
Carrie. Oh, yeah.
Talking
you're right.
about Elizabeth
Yeah.
multiple
Then
times.
a man who is slowly losing his mind, and documenting it in a journal.
Sounds pretty similar to the gentleman of the house here.
He's
Yes.
very distressed in his last entry.
This suggests that perhaps what is happening here is not caused by the great tragedy that happened here, but perhaps already was
already-
here, created by something even older.
In the house.
Yes.
Is there a library in this? Did you see a library in this house? Maybe we can see who was here before. There was a she who's getting in his mind. Maybe find out who that might be.
Oh, yes, I spent a little time in the library the other night. We could certainly investigate it again, although I found that it had far too much fanciful fiction instead of good, hearty historical fact.
The script changes. He begins in beautiful cursive, but ends scrolling like a young child.
He's screaming at the
So it
end.
does.
I
Yes,
imagine
overdraft.
the voices that he was writing out is screaming.
Yes. He returns home on June the 2nd, but by December 8th, he's screaming on the page.
It happened quickly.
It's all caps.
Well, those
All caps.
perhaps those with minds that are naturally more sensitive to ectoplasmic activity, just as one perhaps could be more affected by the sun or loud noise if they have proclivities to listen for such things. Perhaps he was affected by whatever it is that is imbalanced in this house.
I wonder who is in his head.
Wonder if I can ask Carrie.
Yes, because he speaks at first of his wife, but then he refers to another person when he
Ellie,
says she's in my head.
could you try to contact Silas instead?
Yeah,
Would you be willing to?
I can try, but Carrie's been the one who's been talking to me. But I can
doesn't-
try.
maybe we should
I can
not
try.
Contact Silas.
Well, if
I think,
If we are to do this, we all need to
yeah.
keep a good energy.
I wonder, because my normal thing is actually like, so Carrie's my spirit guide for this.
Your spirit guide is something separate from
Something separate
anybody.
from anything.
It's a spirit guide that you always are reaching out to that can relay information to you about the things you're asking,
Okay.
the things around.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah, I can ask, and that's who I ask for the writing. I don't know if I could I ask Silas himself?
Your spirit guide could potentially relay information from Silas, maybe, but it's really hard for you to know if that's happening or not.
Okay.
So generally just getting one word.
So we're just trying to find out who she is then.
Okay. I'm gonna ask who she is. I'm gonna do that and see if I can see if that's shoot
Okay.
for the moon.
Okay, so this is a pretty straightforward one, so I'll just roll 2. I got 6. You got
that's-
8.
Yay!
You put your pen to paper and you begin to write and write. And as you're writing, the word starts to come and you spell daughter.
Daughter.
Carrie,
I don't
his
know.
child is in his head.
I don't know unless he had another daughter. Or someone else's daughter.
it sounds like the ravings of a man. It is not unusual for people to interpret things they cannot understand as voices in their head or other things like that.
Did Silas have more than one daughter?
You all would know that he did not.
Okay.
At least as far as the information that you have with your
but-
newspaper and what the family has told you, which is all that there should be.
Clearly, if your spirit guide is correct and what he felt in his head was his daughter, then it could not be any sort of supernatural activity, for his daughter was already alive at the time. Was she not?
Yes, you all would actually know when she died, which was a week. So this newspaper that you have was on October 19th, which was the day after the father and mother died. So they died on the 18th of 1894 in October. And Caroline died a week before that. So you would know that, so that would be
Aren't there journal entries after that?
after.
It seems likely to me that whatever was affecting his brain was the same thing that is creating problems now, perhaps continuously compounded by the tragedy that it therefore led to. Such things can create something of a cycle.
It's supposed to be.
They are after that, but they're not supposed to be.
Okay. That got real scary.
That's an error in the newspaper. The newspaper meant to print December.
Got it. All right.
December 15th. That's what it says.
Well, this is disturbing, to say the least.
Well,
And the newspapers were quite sure that the daughter died by accident, yes?
I think so.
The newspaper said she drowned in the pool. I'll leave this here if you guys want to keep.
I think we should gather in the pool area.
In the pool area?
yes, well.
Well, perhaps just take the rest of the day for health reasons. I don't know.
Vano, time is of the essence.
So,
Come on, it'll be fun.
Vano, do you mind joining?
first of all, can I have a water?
What? Yes, right.
What if we, because
Well,
there
stay
are a lot.
hydrated.
What if Vano and I go?
To the pool? Mm-hmm. You can do that. Also, where you're at, just so you know, you are upstairs. Some of the other rooms you've mentioned, the master bedroom, the study. You mentioned Aiden. Those are all in this area. There's the pool you can go to, and then there's still, of course, the rest of the house, the
Doesn't
staff,
sound like
etc.
we should go to the pool.
Where
But-
the master bedroom.
Yes,
We
never
got
found it.
somewhat off track.
yes,
Right,
we
yes.
did. I didn't mean to return his ball.
Is there anything else in the safe?
Oh.
Is there anything else in the safe?
No, that was the only thing in the safe. No, you can go to the pool. I'm just letting you know all of the. I'm just reiterating all the things you've mentioned.
Well, I'll join Vano in returning the ball.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I
So,
have yet to meet Aiden.
so you guys are going to go return the ball, and then do you guys want to go with them, or do you want to go somewhere else?
I say stick together
Yeah.
for now.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, so you remember where Aiden's room is, so you lead the way. And as you near the room, you hear this sound, and you hear Aiden going, "Why? Why are you being so mean? Why would you do that?"
Aiden?
Okay. What? And whenever you say his name, the whispers stop. And he says, "Yes? Hello? Who's there?"
Yes, well.
It is your friend, Vano.
"Oh, Vano, you here to do some more tricks? Thank you, Blind Seer. Thank you very much."
Yes, I am here for a trick, returning something that perhaps you lost. But I'll open the door. Who are you just speaking to?
Oh, well, remember that little girl I told you about? Remember her?
Yes.
It was her, but she was being really mean.
What
She does that sometimes.
What did you say her name was again?
Oh, she's never told me her name before.
Well, perhaps you could find out for Vano next time you speak with her.
I can try. I don't really want to see her anymore.
What mean thing is she doing to you?
Sometimes she just takes my things, and then sometimes she throws things at me, and it really hurts. And then sometimes she just tells me that my family doesn't love me.
Well, I'm sure that is not true.
I hope not. That would make me really sad. Although I haven't seen my dad as much lately.
Yes, I'm sure they love you your whole life. It will be long.
Vano. Yeah, well, I
Why is
apologize
Mr.
for the
Vano-
gibbering.
Why is he crying?
He's something of an effeminate blubberer,
We've
I believe.
had a very trying day.
I'm terrified of falling chandeliers. My apology.
That's-
But I promised to do a trick for you.
Oh, okay. I like tricks.
Hold out your hand.
Okay.
No, it's not in that hand. Hold out the other hand.
Okay.
Hold them, close them together like this.
Okay. Okay.
All right, now open them. When I open them, his ball is there.
Oh! Ooh! You got me a ball!
Yes.
Yes. You lost it, yes?
Oh, this isn't mine.
It isn't?
No,
Yes.
but I'll take it.
Yes, it's yours.
Thank you.
I do not understand who else would have a ball in this.
Oh, I think it's her ball. And he points right behind you. There's nothing there.
Yes, well, you have a vivid imagination, young Aiden.
Is she still the person standing there?
Yeah. Do you want your ball back?
Hey,
You
sweet.
can have it. No? Okay, thanks. And he just kind of starts to play with it.
Do we mind if we talk to your friend?
Oh, do you want to talk to... Oh, no. No.
Bono.
Why are you being so mean again?
Not healthy.
They are not doing that. They would never. No.
Aiden, please.
What is she saying that we are doing?
No, it's just that you all are going to make my family leave and then I'll be by myself. But I
No.
don't think you guys would do that.
That's not
No.
true.
We would never do that. Horace is a proper English gentleman, no?
Yes,
See?
yes. Quite right.
He just goes back to his things, his toys.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. This time, more whispers are actually happening, which you heard. You heard them. So, I will try this once again. Now you have some whispers. Anyway, continue.
Look, I believe that what is happening here is that this child, who has been somewhat not attended to recently, has discovered that if he makes a show of things, throws things around, pretends to see things that are not there, he gets the attention that he otherwise so desperately craves. Now, I do not think it is healthy for us to play into this illusion.
She's actually right there. Or she left, but she was there. This
Yes.
isn't my ball. I'm not making things up. I don't do that.
Of course, my patience with you have run too thin at this moment.
Yes, well,
I know that you don't believe that there are strange things happening.
I believe there are strange things happening, and I simply do not believe that they are perhaps
Horace.
malicious ghosts that...
Do you think there are ghosts here?
How?
Eyes! Dear God, are you okay?
I mean, I feel a little tired, but I think I'm all right.
Did any of you see that?
The ball?
What did you see? What? Did you see my friend?
Where your eyes were bleeding for a moment there.
My eyes are bleeding. Are my eyes bleeding?
Oh, my head's bleeding?
No,
Wait.
no.
Whose eyes are bleeding?
No, your eyes are not
No,
bleeding.
It was simply a trick of the light.
Everyone, relax.
They haven't done that before. I'm really glad they aren't bleeding. That would be bad.
Are my eyes okay?
Apologize. Yes.
Oh,
No.
my eyes look fine.
Perhaps the only eyes here that are somewhat wrong are mine. Yes. What a blunder.
Please gather yourself.
Quite bad.
Poor Aiden.
You know, just because he's a little kid doesn't mean that he's not telling the truth.
Well,
I
often
always
the
tell the
simplest
truth.
explanation is the most correct.
That
Aiden,
he
I
is seeing a
think
ghost.
It's far from the simplest explanation.
Perhaps,
What were you gonna say?
perhaps, Miss Moody, you could reach out and affirm that there is or is not another being present that we cannot see.
She left, didn't she?
Well, I don't see anybody.
Oh, well.
Aiden, could you maybe call to her to come back?
I could try. Little girl. My friend, I don't know your name. You never told me your name, but could you come back? I don't know. Maybe she will. I don't see her yet. But as you're sitting there, or standing there rather, and just waiting, and he's just kind of waiting, you do notice that all of a sudden, just out of the corner of your eye, it looks like whatever is on this side of the room from you all has completely flipped upside down. But when you look at it, it's normal.
Did you see that?
What?
Flip around?
Nothing.
Oh,
We're all just a bit tired, dear.
okay.
Well, in that we are in agreement. There's a little taxing there.
I think we should leave you to rest.
Okay, this is probably good. I do feel kind of tired.
Yes, perhaps we should be going now. So good to see you again, Aiden. I'll be in the hall.
Okay, thanks for the ball. So you guys go back out into the hall?
Yes.
Okay.
No. It is obvious that there is something going on in this house. I would be a fool to deny that, but it seems simple to me that this child has heard of what his parents are talking about and complaining about and is simply playing into that for attention. We did not see anything move. We did not feel any particular presences.
Oh, it's something in the air.
What's the matter, Vano?
You are
What's going on? What's the matter?
He's afraid of
Vano.
death.
Gather
Handkerchief.
yourself, Beckwith.
It's a handkerchief.
Thank you. Thank you. It's quite right.
I'll put my hand on his shoulder to try to calm him.
Okay.
Just stuffy in here. So wet. Outside.
All right. Is there somewhere you would like to go at this point?
The master bedroom.
Yes, perhaps the master bedroom.
The master
I've never
bedroom?
been in there before.
Very well. And then
Is that
we can
cool?
continue our investigation to the pool.
Okay.
Although I do think the ball had to come from somewhere.
Quite right.
Perhaps it was misplaced by one of the servants.
What, the servant? You think Nikki's playing with the ball?
Yes, well, I don't know what it is that help gets up to these days.
You know, I think I'm getting fed up with you too.
Yes, well, then perhaps find a more rational explanation.
Everything I say, you just don't believe it. You don't believe anything anyone says.
Yes, well, look,
I do feel that
my pipe came off.
I do feel your.
I understand that tensions are high in this situation, but if we let ourselves start seeing every little thing that happens as some sort of angry entity pushing us around, then we are at the mercy of our own imaginations.
Let's just send Horace on a different mission.
We are investigators. We are investigators, and we...
Horace, you're terribly throwing off all of the energy reads that I am trying to do throughout this entire house, and are exhausting me.
It is fascinating how often, when one is brought up in the face of cynicism, energy is thrown off and they can no longer perform properly. I, however, have none of that
am
problem.
done with you. Please go look through a different room, a different part of the house. Go to the pool by yourself.
So as you all are arguing, you hear this. This reminds you very much of what you heard yesterday. Sounds very much like the same humming.
I remember this tune. I said that I had walked into the room and no one was there. Is this? Can I tell where this is coming from?
It seems like it's coming down the hall, as far as you all are concerned, from what you remember of seeing the map, towards the master bedroom.
It can't be Carrie. It sounds like a woman.
Yes. Perhaps we should look into it. It could be Lady Lorraine, but it's not her last time.
Keep close, St. George.
We'll continue down the hallway.
Okay. So you're continuing towards the master bedroom? Is that where
Yeah.
you all are going?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you go down there, you get all the way there, and you don't hear anything anymore. Seems like the crying has stopped.
I'll knock softly on the door.
On the master bedroom door?
Mhm.
You don't hear anything.
Hello? Is it okay if we enter?
Are you decent?
You wait for a moment and no one says anything.
I'll open the door.
Okay. Do you go in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no one in here. It's empty.
Is this like the master bedroom that's being used currently?
Yes.
Like, okay.
This bedroom, master bedroom, is being used currently. You all can see it too if you want. These are Mysterium cards. Fancy Mysterium cards, master bedroom. Yes. So you all enter the room. The door slams behind you.
Horace, would you like to explain that?
There are plenty of ways that could be explained.
Ah, hold your breath then.
If I check the door, does it still open? Huh. Maybe we missed something.
Precisely.
Well, sure. Shit. You said there were senses coming from this or something,
Yes.
Mr. Duncombe?
Well, when I laid out a necroplasmic model of the house, it seemed to be the first place that my instruments indicated as a center of necroplasmic activity. So, whatever happened emotionally, to leave the impressions here, or this is where it seemed to initially be strongest.
What all is in the room?
In this room, it's the bed, and there are some bookshelves on the wall that have some books and things, and there's apparently, according to this picture, there's a big harp in the room.
A bedroom would be complete.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I mean, other than that, it seems like there's a closet. It's a pretty straightforward standard bedroom. Doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary for a bedroom, at least, as far as you're concerned.
Perhaps we could reach out for some guidance or something.
Yeah.
So-
If you will.
Would anyone like to try a specific power here?
Can I just snoop through one of the drawers or something?
Snoop through one of the drawers? Sure.
Good old-fashioned, just
You're gonna roll
searching thing. Whoa! Okay, so that's an ace on a 6.
Uh-huh.
13.
You can do it.
I did not.
All right.
Oh,
take a
you can
reroll?
reroll.
Reroll.
We got a bunch of them.
Meh.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta use those.
Thank you.
There you go.
What was the number?
I got a 13. Oh, you ace. So that puts you 9, 10, 11, 12. So you
Yay!
beat me. All right.
Hey!
Good old-fashioned looking through people's drawers in their room.
So you go over to, I assume, a nightstand, and you open a drawer. And in this nightstand, you notice that there is, there's a diary of some kind, but if you open it, it's not been used. Looks like it's probably a new one. There's pen. There's a pipe. There's a few different things that just seem kind of like general nightstand things. But as you walk over there, you notice the floor is a bit creaky.
Loose board.
Could be, or it could be a creaky floor.
You're so good at snooping. It's so great. We got to travel together.
Did you say there was a diary in there?
It was empty.
An empty a blank diary?
Yeah, it's like a new one.
Oh.
But creaky floor.
Yeah, you notice a creaky floor.
What do we do with the creaky floor?
Is it? Can I investigate see if it's loose at all? Like if the board is actually loose?
With your knife?
Let's see.
I don't know if
so let's use
I've got
your,
my.
yeah, your knife wielding. We'll use that. You can use your knife or an object that's similar to a knife to try and pry the floorboard up. So I assume you're going to try to pry up the floorboard where she was? Okay, we'll just try that.
Wrong side.
Breaking into people's rooms.
Pull out
climbing
my
up
dress.
Yeah.
their floor.
All right, so 2 die. Oh, I only got 3. We're probably gonna beat that. Yes, you did. Very much beat that. Okay, so as you go to pry the floorboards loose, you are able to do so, and you notice that there's some empty space down there. You don't see anything here, but you realize that just because you can kind of see down in there, it looks like there might be a few other ones in the room that are loose too, and it looks like there's plenty of space there for something to be in the floor, so it would be a good spot for someone to hide something.
Oh. Can I tell? So that they're probably so there are other. So you're saying there probably are other places in the room too?
Yeah, basically what you can see kind of just from your angle, you can tell like there's more empty space under the floor and there's light coming through.
Oh.
That's basically how you can tell.
Okay, cool. Can I see where the light's coming through and see if it correlates with the?
Kind of. It's kind of hard to see from where you are, but you could tell that there could, if you tried some other spots, you might be able to find another loose floorboard, basically.
Okay, tell it. You want to do any more snooping?
I'd like to look over at the bookcases.
You want to look at the bookcases? Okay.
We're snooping.
Yes, she found She found a creaky floorboard. She pried it open, noticing that there's a space to hide something and more floorboards that might be loose around about the room. That's something to be in. So you're snooping. I got a 6.
I also
You
got 6.
Okay, so let's re-roll it.
Reroll.
I got a 3.
Yeah.
Oh, you aced twice. Okay.
Level
so
99 snooping.
You go over to to the bookcase, and on this bookcase, you notice that there are. It's a lot of fiction here as well. There's a lot of different stories. It seems like maybe the lady of the house likes romantic novels. So there's a lot of those here in the room. But as you go over there, you also hear another creaky floorboard. It really seems like there are a lot, like, I don't know, maybe this is one room they haven't fixed as many on. So, okay.
Let's do some knifing.
You want to try it out again? Okay. I got a 3.
I got a 12.
Okay.
Yay.
So this time, you are able to pry that floorboard open again with the knife, and there is actually something down in that floorboard. So you look down and you just see that.
April 16th, 1894. Can you read?
Seems to be something on the back.
Age 6. Age 6.
Oh, age 6.
Oh, it is a picture of a young girl.
What year?
6 in 1894.
94. But it has A on it. Age 6.
Where does that fall on our timeline?
That doesn't sound like doesn't look like a C, age 6. Or maybe it's around, or maybe it's not the name.
1894.
Around age 6?
Is this perhaps our Caroline? Hey.
Unless there was another daughter.
Yes, well, it certainly falls into the timeline. Wait.
April 16th?
Oh, okay. I don't understand what you're trying to get me to do, Jordan.
The picture on the canvas.
Oh.
On the on the camera.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Should we do some more
April
snooping?
16th.
Yes,
April
lower it
16,
down. just a touch.
1894?
There
Yes, well, it seems as
Starts
though
in June.
this picture must have been right before they brought back. Well, wait.
Why
When
would
did
they
they
put a
come
picture on the floorboard?
Yes, and hidden too. April, did he not return? He returned in June.
June.
Yes, June 2nd, 1894. Although perhaps he could have returned before that and just decided not to start writing in his journal until later.
Does this look at all like the pictures we've seen of?
No.
The picture that you've seen of Caroline is this one, and that
Yes.
girl.
These are not the same girls.
No.
Not the same girl.
We should definitely do more snooping.
If the man had been feeling the presence of some sort in his head,
Yes,
and
perhaps.
it was not Caroline, perhaps whoever this girl is could be the key to that puzzle.
Yes.
Her
Yeah.
presence or lack thereof could have left the ectoplasmic residue that led to his mind expecting someone to be there and reacting as though they were.
Indeed. And it seems that this picture did not fall under the floorboards by chance.
No, it was hidden on purpose. Had to have been.
Who would have hidden it?
Well, shall we continue in this room or should we move?
There's more snooping, I think. I think there's some more
Perhaps we
spaces.
check the rest of the floorboards to be safe,
Yes.
and then put them back.
That's true. That's a few knife scratches.
Put the floorboards back.
Do you think you could snoop some more and figure out where the next one is?
There's bookcases and there was.
I'll attempt to help her using my skills as a thief.
Okay.
Ooh,
Doing
All right.
the opposite of what I normally do, which is not step on the squeaky floorboards.
So we'll do 2 rolls. And
Okay.
we'll just see what each of you guys find. So you go ahead and go first. I'll roll opposite of you. So you aced. I got 10. You already got above me there.
Okay.
Yay!
And then you roll. I got 7.
got 8.
8. So you both got over me. Okay, so you all continue to go about the room, and you're stepping on different floorboards and seeing what seems a bit more hollow and what creaks. And you do find more, and you go through and pry them up, but you don't find anything else in any of the floorboards here. And you go about looking through the clothes, the shelves, and you really don't find much else. This actually, what really strikes you about that is that this is the only thing like it in the room. It seems like it is very odd to find one photo in the floorboard, like you said, and there's nothing else anywhere, and that is conspicuous by itself. That's really what jumps out at you here, is that it seems like if there's a photo of a child in a master bedroom, that you would expect to find more of them.
I wonder if this was the daughter of some of the help.
Perhaps I can help in that regard. Simple relationships such as that are the sort of thing I might be able to figure out just through relationships between the two.
Okay, so what specifically are you going to ask?
So basically, I'm asking: is this the man who wrote the journal's daughter? I'd have a picture
You're
of him.
asking, yes. So this is
Silas's
Silas.
daughter.
This is
Yes.
Silas's daughter.
Is this
That's what you're asking.
Silas's daughter?
So is this picture Silas's daughter? Okay. All right.
Are also.
So roll your pendulum. I'll roll it.
Okay.
Wait. I only rolled 3.
Roll another.
I got 5, 2, and 1, and here's my 4th.
Okay, I
I
got
got 3.
7. You already got above me. Okay.
Hurrah!
So you ask the question and you hold the pendulum and wait for it to still. And then you notice that the pendulum starts to go back and forth in a line, which means no.
No. Does not seem that the relationship between Silas and this little girl is familial.
I have
Or at
another.
least not directly his daughter.
What about Silas's wife?
That's a good question.
Not to hint at scandal or anything.
No.
Oh, I
No.
catch your drift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is she her daughter?
Such tension in the home could have caused a particularly great deal of emotional trauma. I will give it another try.
So you're going to ask this time if
If it is his
Elizabeth's daughter?
Elizabeth's daughter.
Okay. I got a 7 again.
Yay! I got
Nice.
plenty. I got a
got
whole bunch.
Way more than me. Okay, so
I
you
got
hold.
a great deal.
You
I got 20.
You got 20. I think we should re-roll with that. So you hold the pendulum up and you ask this question, and again you wait for it to still, and then you notice that it starts to turn into a circle, which you know means yes.
Yes. My God. Seems it was his wife's daughter.
Maybe that's
What
what
happened to her?
I don't know.
It is his wife's daughter, but not her daughter. I don't think.
It's not Silas's daughter, but it's Elizabeth's daughter, Lady Elizabeth.
Are we to believe that whoever this little girl is, was continually living in the house when he returned? Perhaps without the knowledge.
If this picture was hidden, that means that maybe she wasn't treated the same as
Yes.
Carrie.
Well, they're the same age.
Oh.
Wait. Where was the husband stationed?
Carrie's a little younger. I don't know if I
Okay.
put that in right.
Where was the husband stationed?
In
Khartoum.
Yes.
He could have been there for some time. Perhaps this child was scandal. Something that his wife had to hide.
Well,
Madam Moody,
This-
you passed the job.
this daughter's
journal?
older.
Yes.
Meaning,
Oh, so
Yeah.
that girl's older.
But it isn't.
Iris, can you get a feeling on that picture?
sure. I'm gonna do a.
Okay, so you're doing a reading. So you're getting a feeling from a picture. So you're trying to get a sense from the person. Let me see. So generally when you're getting a sense from an object, you're getting a sense from someone who has interacted with the object.
It's not going to actually tell me the energy of the person. It's
Not the
gonna
person
be-
who. What about the person who hid the picture?
Okay. So this one's a little harder because you're not sure how long it's been here.
Oh, you got a 6, so you get to reroll
Yeah,
that
you
one.
get to reroll. So
That's
count
5,
Yeah.
6.
10,
That's
17.
10. Yeah, okay. So that's 16 right now. So
You've
you
already
reroll
beat
that one.
All right.
And you reroll. Very nice.
nailed it.
Okay, so you hold on to this picture, and you focus in on it and try to shut everything else out, so you're just getting the energy from the picture. And what you start to feel is love, and you feel sadness, and you feel pride, and you feel heartbreak.
I imagine she was before. I forget the family's name. They wed.
Which one? Caroline?
Yes, Caroline and Silas wed. It's almost as if she was here and she was hidden, or she just was not allowed to be out like Caroline.
Well, it does beg the question with the illegitimate daughter who the true father was.
Maybe I could ask that.
Well, perhaps. Well, yes, that is a good question. Maybe that's something we could find out in
Yeah.
the family history.
Or we could talk to the servants, the ones that were here. There are a couple that were here.
The groundskeeper,
Before?
yes.
The
And then-
groundskeeper.
That far
Maybe-
back, yes.
Maybe I could do a little writing and see if we can try our luck with that. Ask who the father is.
It could not hurt.
I don't know.
Unless could it hurt?
Oh, I don't think so.
That is
I'm gonna try and ask the name of the father.
Okay, you want to ask the name of the father of the girl in this picture?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's a pretty straightforward thing, I think. Ooh, I got a 4.
14.
Okay.
14.
So you pull out your paper and pencil and you begin to write in circles, waiting for the word to come. You focus, you center, reaching out to your spirit guide, and you start to write Nathaniel.
Thank-
Nathaniel.
What's the groundskeeper's first name?
Aaron.
yeah.
Nathaniel. Okay. Yeah, we should talk to.
Aaron.
Yes, well, a surly groundskeeper may be the best place to start if he has been around as long as his family.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all want to. Are you done with the master bedroom?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
For now.
So where do you want to go next, or what would you like to do next?
Talk to the
The
groundskeeper.
Speak to the
groundskeeper?
groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Is it a pool on the way to the groundskeeper?
See where it's kind of the opposite direction.
Oh, well
wait,
then,
yes.
to the groundskeeper.
To the groundskeeper first? Okay. So you all start to head down to the groundskeeper. And as you are heading that direction, you walk past Silas and Edwin's study. And this is the study where you found Edwin earlier, and you notice that you just get a strong energy from it as you walk by.
Everyone wait. There's something wrong here. I'm sensing something very strong. And then just want to go ahead and from
the
this
room?
the
From the
study.
study?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say George growls a little bit. He's like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I want to go ahead and just knock.
You knock on it. So whenever you knock, you don't hear anything for a second, but then you hear something kind of thud. Doesn't sound like it's on the door. It sounds like it's something inside, like maybe something fell over.
I'm just gonna.
Open it. Okay. So you go in. Do you all go in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you go in here, there's no one in there, but you do notice there seems to be a book on the floor.
the what?
A book. A book on the floor.
I'd say it's best for me to pick up items first, more often than not, so I can get a sense.
That makes
Very
sense
good
to
objection
me.
to that.
So you go over to pick up the book? Okay, so as you go over there and you reach down to pick up the book, it goes flying across the room.
It's been a while since I've seen something like that. It's all gathered together.
And then, as you start to gather together, another book comes flying
What's the matter?
off
You
of
shaking?
the shelf, and it's aiming right for you. 1 second.
Fiction or nonfiction?
It's moving too fast, so it's aiming right
Like fiction.
for you. Oh, that's let's see, 7, 8, 6. What's 6 plus 8? That's what?
14.
15, 16. All right, so this book's flying at you. We are moving into a combat right now. So you have the opportunity to do something to avoid getting hit by this book. So you can use a cliche to do this. You can try to think of it creatively, however you would like.
Throw your dog.
Yeah.
Despite it not being a particularly, it's only a 2 cliche, I still think hunter is the most relevant cliche here. Because that would be like my instincts and like, yes!
You can also utilize your dog that way. So your dog could potentially like try to jump up and grab the book out of the air or bat it away or something like that.
Sure.
So you could do any of those things.
So I'm gonna say that St. George tries to alert me. He's like, "Rah, rah," when it comes and I look over and I'm like, what is it, St. George?
Okay, so roll
Quit flying
your
books!
2.
By the king!
You've got 2.
I get 2.
You get 2. Yeah, and don't forget you guys can pump up your your rolls, and you have lucky shots.
I'm gonna add 1. to
Okay,
this
one of
because that was a bunch, and I'm probably gonna fail this. Whoop! I dropped 1 and it's a 1. Oh no! All right, so that's a 1, a 3, a 4.
Reroll a
Yeah,
3.
let's use a reroll.
Okay.
And then if I don't re-roll it, it was fate. All right, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That beats
11. What did I roll? I rolled a.
You rolled like a 20 or something.
Yeah, I think I rolled like a 17. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was higher than that. Okay.
it. It was
so,
higher than that.
So St. George barks, and you are looking at him like, what is it? What is it? And you don't turn around fast enough to be able. You see the book coming, but you can't get out of the way fast enough. So the book comes flying, it hits you right in the head and knocks you down. You take 1 die loss to your hunter there. So you've just fallen down, but you're still conscious. Okay, so
My monocle. Oh, there it is.
the way that this combat will work, so the thing that is throwing books in this room has made an attack. So we will go around, and you all can decide if there's something you would like to do, and then we will come back. So we'll make sure that everybody has an opportunity to do something if you want. You don't have to. And it doesn't. You can think of this cinematically. So when you're in combat here, especially in Rises, it's all about being cinematic and utilizing the cliches to help you with that. So it's creativity, cinematic. It doesn't have to be well, I have to figure out some way to stab at something. So feel free to play with it here.
Okay.
So does anybody have anything that you would like to try to do?
Is there anything like? Is there anything odd about the room apart from the flying books?
Not that you can tell, except that it feels like that the room is like the tension is rising. You can kind of almost feel like the books are shaking, like things are starting to rattle, and it does feel like there's a particular space. So where the book came flying off the shelf, you can just, from the direction it came from, you can see kind of which area it is. It seems more intense over there.
Okay. There's a desk in the study, yes? I would like to get under that desk.
Okay, all right.
And I'm going to say that a lot of magicianing involves like throwing a smoke bomb down and like slinking away into a corner somewhere.
What a
while pretending
brave
to
man.
disappear. So I'm gonna try to dart and slink my way over underneath the desk.
All right, so we'll use magician for this. So you're rolling against the thing in the room, so it's gonna be 4.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So that's 5, 6, 12. That was an ace, and then a 5.
17.
So 17 for you.
No worries.
Well, you aced, so that's 16. So you beat me with your 21. Okay,
Snake.
so that means one less die here. You see everything that's happening, and it's getting really kind of crazy intense in this room, and you kind of have this muscle memory of magician things, and you go, okay, I know exactly what to do here, and you jump down and you kind of slink across the floor and get under the desk. Okay, anyone else have something they would like to do?
Can I use so we're in a study, so I imagine there's like a shield on the wall or something that I could use as. So maybe for World Traveler, I could identify it.
I'm just trying to see which. We'll say that you guys are in this study here. So, the bug study, I guess. So yeah, there's some different things on the wall. So you're wanting to what? What are you wanting to do? Is it
Just
something
as
to block?
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing's flying at you actively now. So you're utilizing World Traveler. Let me see what else you have. Snoop World Traveler.
Herbalism.
I'm trying to think of how you could specifically use this, because really, generally, this is just sort of a common Oh, do you have something?
Sorry. So sometimes with empath, you're able to do a protective kind of a field around you. So why don't I do that?
Okay, you can try that. So make your roll, and you're rolling against. Basically, the way I'm going to think of this is you're sort of setting up energy to push back at whatever's in the room to keep it from wanting to focus on you. Oh God.
Oh.
Okay, so I got 2 6s. 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then re-rolling these, 20, 21, 22. And you have 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. I think I've used all my energy.
Use a reroll.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
use
you can
re-roll.
re-roll
Re-roll.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you. What was it?
22.
Quick and double 6s.
I think that was my first time. Don't
feel like
look at me
you
like that,
You got a
Ace
6?
Master.
All right.
You got a 6. So you've got 10, 15, 16, 17. 18.
Ooh, very close.
Okay.
Turned into a 1.
So by trying to put an energy shield on to sort of deflect, to be too much for whatever it is in here to handle, you instead get its attention. So you take 1 negative to your empath die there. Next time you'll roll 3.
Okay.
All right, anyone else, either of you like to do something?
So, so do we see, there's a certain part of the room where these books flew from?
Yes, and it's what it seems like there's more, just things are moving a little bit more over there.
Okay. Trying to think of what to do.
As you're you're kind of standing there like, oh no, what's happening? You see more books start to leave the shelves. They haven't flown anywhere yet, but it's like things are starting to come out, and they're almost starting to swirl just in this one particular spot. And anything that's over there is starting to pull up that way, and you kind of hear
Stiff upper
noise
lip.
starting to bellow out from
Where
it
is
as
that
well.
spot? Nowhere near the desk. Okay.
Time for freaking out later.
I imagine if the desk is here, it's sort of off in this corner of the room. Doors back here. You guys are standing over
Privacy
here.
is my study.
So it's sort of beside it. It's like on the same side of the room, but
Oh no.
it's over there.
Terrible choice.
So
Jeez.
You have a thought?
I don't know what cliche this will fall under. I'm going to try and make an argument. So I want to grab. So in the picture of the library there, there is a suit of armor.
But you guys are in that room.
Oh, we're in the
study.
We're in the study.
The library study, yeah.
Ah!
Study.
Ooh, okay then. I want to grab one of the guns off of the wall.
Okay.
be like, well, let's have at it then.
And try and shoot one of the books.
So you're going to use the hunter.
Yes,
for
which
this.
it's been reduced by 1.
And remember,
so it's just 1 now.
If it gets reduced again, if you fail this one, then you are essentially knocked out.
Yes, that seems okay.
Okay. All right.
I still think it's what I would do.
Totally. No, I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. I'm just letting you know. This is our first combat. Like it's okay. So
Have I said?
you're gonna shoot at a book. Okay. So roll your die, and there's still 1 lucky shot on the table.
Well, can I use
Yes,
it?
you do, but
Yeah, I think it's time.
All right. All right.
Oh
my gosh.
Succeed.
One ace.
16.
Oh man! Wow.
I think we need to
21.
weigh your die.
Dear Lord.
I'm on the other side now. Oh, 3. Okay.
The gun is purely ornamental.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and in fact, you're so confused by that that you kind of, as you're trying to look at it, one of those books actually comes flying right at the gun, and it ends up hitting it into your head. And you,
I tried to like, come on. What sort of fool keeps a decorative gun?
yes, yes. In the midst of you, because you're focused on that, you don't see this thing coming, and it for right now it knocks you out entirely.
My
It's it,
hat,
George.
my hat goes like I fall back and my hat just stays where it is for a moment, and then
Yes, it's a very slapstick. And St. George is very upset by this, and he's just barking all over. But you're out for right now. Okay. Is there anything you would like to do?
I'm gonna. So the books are swirling, and there's like it's like swirling like a little tornado right
Basically,
over there.
that's what it kind of looks
That's
like.
a poor choice for me to. I'm gonna. This is stupid. We'll see if this makes sense. I'm gonna pull this off the wall.
Okay.
With the antlers, and I'm gonna do like I'm gonna dance around and twirl around the trousers and like toss it into the books.
Okay.
I'm like da 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 with a woo, like
Okay.
a full on.
I like it. So you're utilizing your dance knowledge,
Yes.
and your
As a flapper.
As a flapper, there's a lot of improvisation because you're always trying to startle people. So not only are you using your dance knowledge, you're trying to startle them into whatever this thing is, into what the hell am I doing? I'm not going to look while you're throwing this. Okay, so roll your die. So I got 9, 10, 11.
she got better.
Yes, you got better. So
Books aren't gonna kill all of us.
19.
that
19.
you do this move and you throw it into the middle of everything, and it does knock a whole lot of the books out. Everything kind of drops down for a second to the floor, and then you just notice on the other side of the room that books start to move over there. But you seem to have stopped what was happening, at least on this side for now.
What does
Alright,
it do
so-
with the swirly area? Was it swirling around something?
Yeah, it was sort of, there was empty space, but it was just sort of like a tornado. It was just spinning through the air. So now that that's happened, all of a sudden, there's, on the other side of the room, there's this chessboard that starts to lift up, and the pieces start to hover over, and it flies because it's focused on you. It just flies right at you, and as it does, you sort of hear this loud "Get out!" as it flies right at you. All right, so it rolled a 9 to hit you. So you can use something to try to dodge this, or to try to block it. You could very easily use Snoop for something like that.
Sure.
Because you have to hide as a Snoop. You have to be good at being sneaky and light and quick on your feet.
Okay.
You're like,
So it was a 9. You're rolling against a 9.
The only thing better than Snoop is a desk. Just a solid desk you can hide on.
I didn't get a 9.
You got an 8. Okay.
you want my reroll?
There's still one on the table too.
Oh, there's one on the table.
Oh, I keep using them. I don't know.
That's what
That's
they're
what
there
they're
for.
for.
Right.
Yeah, reroll it. Okay.
Give it a
Nice.
shot.
All right. Oh, you aced. You already beat it. Very nice. Okay, so
It's 5.
I was really nervous.
the whole chessboard just starts flying right at you. It looks like it's aiming right for your face. And you are able to, because you're quick on your feet, you're able to duck just in time, and it goes flying over and slams into the wall. All right, so now we're back. You all you're out for right now.
If it
but
makes
the
a
three of
difference,
you-
though, not Atlas. This guy's name.
What show is this?
St. George. St. George is just barking like a spaz. Like he is just going at it.
Okay,
Like,
It's very helpful.
you all hear this, yes. It's very upsetting. You would tell he's very upset. Okay, does anyone have anything they would like to do here?
Is anything else?
Are any books flying at me?
They haven't yet.
Is there? And so the one thing was sort of stopped, and then the chessboard just flew. Is there anything else that's moving?
In the area where the chessboard came from, you can see a few other things. Sort of, it's sort of on top of the desk, but it's just a little bit to the side of it. Things are just sort of lifting off and vibrating as they start to move into the air.
Is this a poor time to perhaps try to figure out why this thing doesn't want us in the room?
Could certainly try it. Do you have a particular idea on how?
I was thinking maybe I'd crystal ball gaze and see if I could be pointed towards some like object
Okay.
in the room
Okay. Sure.
of
Yeah.
importance.
Go for it. So
Portent.
Important.
you're going. So you're
Important.
you're gazing,
Important.
not necessarily in defense or attack of this
No.
thing. You're.
This is investigative
This
gazing.
is essentially a separate thing. Okay. So roll your die.
Okay.
And I'm gonna roll 3 against you because so many things are happening. It's a little harder to focus. But I only rolled 5.
Nice.
You rolled way more than that. Okay, so you pull out your crystal ball.
Just underneath the desk, you know? It's
Yes,
just,
I know.
just like, come on, come on.
All right. You're like, all right, Beckwith, don't
And you're trying to focus on gazing into it, reaching out. You are also essentially reaching out to a spirit guide who's sending you a vision, and this is what you see.
All right.
So, anyone else like to do anything?
I don't know what to do with World Traveler.
With World Traveler? Well, World Traveler, you can think of it like you might have knowledge of something like maybe when you were traveling abroad, you studied for a week of Tai Chi or a martial art of some kind. So you might not be able to use it to actually hurt someone, but you could remember a few small moves, or it could be something like you have knowledge about something specific. But in this, you might have learned like you might be novice or have knowledge of some sort of skill that could help you in a particular situation.
I think I'm gonna. There's that big desk. I think I'm gonna pull Horace with me, hide with you under the desk, and just see if maybe the stuff will hit the desk.
Okay. All right. So let's see what you could use for
pull
that.
to do
I feel
that.
like let's see. So as a flapper, you often, when you're out and about with your friends, have very drunk friends.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you have to stay calm.
We drag our friends all the time.
Yes.
We drag our friends all the time. I remember last time.
So this is no different than a drunk friend. So
Under the
you go
arms.
over. Yes.
And he's mumbling, Germans, the Kaiser.
Okay. So you are trying to drag. Okay. So I got a 9.
Some of the fly boys can be very heavy.
Oh, you
yeah.
aced.
Yeah.
You already got over. Very
Okay,
nice.
cool. An
Right,
aced
very
again.
nice, very
Yeah,
nice.
doesn't matter.
So you were able to drag Horace mumbling, and St. George is like kind of barking. He looks at you. He's pretty sure that you're trying to help. So he's okay with it, but he's keeping an eye on you. All right, so you're able to drag him over there, and you both get under. You put him under the desk. You get under.
Yeah, we're like right there.
Okay. All right. So now
When they come under the desk,
I'm like Iris.
So now it is just you, not under the desk.
And it's focused on me.
Iris, come over here. This desk seems strong.
The only thing I would know to do again would be try to do
It's like we're all just
empathy
huddling.
somehow.
Yep. You could use empathy. You could use it. You could use it by maybe trying to calm, or you could use it as a shield, or you could use it to try and get a stronger sense of what's happening.
I'd like to, I think, calm things down.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna roll, and you're basically sending your energy out. The feeling of calm, of peace, of essentially in your mind saying, "We're not here to hurt you. We're here to help." All those sorts of things. Oh, you already aced
good one.
it. I
So that's 12.
got a 6,
oh,
and you already got a 12.
12, and then
An ace, so you don't even need the ace. Okay, so as you do that, you notice everything's kind of shaking as it's hovering in the room, and you notice it kind of stop. It's still sort of hovering there, and there's still sort of, it's still moving around, but it's less intense. All right. So everyone has done something, right? So now, since all of you are under the desk, you notice that the desk starts to lift.
Oh, no.
We'll see if it actually happens. Starts to lift and goes flying. Actually, this does happen. The desk goes flying off of you. So you guys are just huddled here. And as the desk has gone flying, there are things on top of it that look like they're just about to drop right on top of you. Okay, well that's a 1. So I'll have, you won't, but you two roll something to avoid my 1.
Oh,
here,
yeah.
And see if you can avoid these objects falling. You can tell that it doesn't feel as intense anymore. None of these objects are particularly, like there's a couple of books and some things that would hurt, but it doesn't seem as intense as it was before, but it's still going to happen.
Usually we get raided at the speakeasy. So I have quick reflexes. I'm gonna roll like a spin out of the way.
Very good. So it's dance reflexes and run from the cops, run from the fuzz. Okay.
Well, I guess
Yep,
yeah, okay.
you beat me. If you have more than 1 die,
That's pretty much fine.
Okay, you have more than 1 die.
Yeah.
You
I'm
wanna
gonna
roll?
magician my way out. I'm just gonna do a little somersault and arrive standing on my feet. That's my natural reaction, is to throw my hands up in the air. It's probably a bad idea.
Very nice. So, as you all sort of scatter out of the way, the objects, they don't come falling down as hard as you expect. They kind of just float down. Everything in the room floats down. Everything stops.
But as one thing is floating down, Horace suddenly shoots up for a moment of Britannia and hits his head on a floating globe and then
It falls over again. Very nice. Okay, so that is the end of our combat. You all have successfully defeated whatever it was that was throwing things at you. Very good job. So after you do that, all of your, in this particular situation, all of your die go back up. Your cliches go back up to full.
Good.
Because it was just sort of a moment sort of thing. You can be a hunter again.
I give Horace like a little wake up.
Yes.
Margaret, there's a war on.
So as you sit up, you kind of notice the room is in complete disarray. It's just in absolute disarray. And Horace, you actually have something that is sitting on your lap. Some of the things that had fallen, what you assume is out of the desk. We'll have to find where the things are that are sitting on your lap. These are the things that are sitting on your lap.
As he's looking at that, can I look around the room and see if there's anything that's like vaguely nautical, or either nautical or perhaps a game?
Okay, so you're using, I assume, thief to do this? So
Yeah.
just to kind of, okay. Search the room.
Trying to find something that matches up with my brief vision I had before the desk went flying away.
Okay, all right.
It's open.
So you're looking around the room for something nautical. Yes, I got 2, and you aced with your 3 die. Okay. Looking about this room, you do actually find a lot of nautical things. This. You assume Edwin seems to really like pictures of boats. So there are actually a lot of different pictures on the wall. That's mostly what you notice. There are a couple of books that seem to be about boats or stories that involve the sea, things like that. But you don't really see anything that jumps out at you beyond it.
Nothing strikes me as interest.
Not really, as far as you can tell.
what is this actually?
Smells like maple syrup.
It smells
Can
good.
you tell?
Oh no, it's not.
Do you smell it, actually, Iris?
Horace like alerts everyone to what's going on. He's like,
I think I found something. Seems to have come out of that desk.
Familiar.
So as he does that and holds that up, you recognize that as looks like the wrapper to the candy you saw under Aiden's bed.
That looks like one of the. It looks like one of the candies
Seems to
that
be
were under the boy's bed.
Seems to be a small vial of some sort of liquid next to it. Does anyone have any idea what it may be?
Well, I can check it out.
Yeah.
You can roll my
Herbalism?
herbalism.
Do it.
Well, be my guest.
I'll close it so we don't spill it.
Okay, so you rolled 5? Mm-hmm. All right. I aced 10, and I aced again. 16.
I can't help you out.
Okay. All right. So you
Bottoms up!
take you take a look at it, and it doesn't. When you smell it, you don't. Do you smell it, Iris?
Garlic.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, it does smell of garlic.
Defo garlic smell.
You smell at what smells very strongly of garlic, and it makes you think of something, but you cannot figure out what it is. Something specific, and you know it, but you cannot place it. It smells like garlic.
I like it.
Great.
I like
I
it.
like it.
So I've
Makes you want some bread
I
and
made it
some
smell like
oil.
garlic.
Just dip that.
I was really proud of myself.
BD, but it smells like garlic.
One of the first things you did smell was like, yay! I smelled it. Anyway, back into Game Master mode. Yes. So would
If you're
anyone
a Patreon backer, you could smell the garlic.
You could smell it. We had a smell thing on Patreon. So, as you all are trying to figure this out, you hear someone walking down the hall, and Edwin throws the door open and he says, "What? What did you all do in here? Did you just come in here and destroy my study?"
I'm going to attempt to palm the stuff that we took out of his desk. Just throw it in my robe pocket.
What? Oh, okay, so you have to roll for that. You have to roll deep for that. And you're rolling against Edwin here. Let me see. So we're rolling against his soldier cliche.
Ooh, he's got soldier.
Well, he got it too. So he did not see you do that.
Well, I'm an excellent magician.
You are. You got way more. Okay. So, yes, he's very focused on what is the fact that his study is completely and utterly destroyed.
Sure.
Who do you think you all are? That you can come in here and just destroy my study like this? And he starts trying to pick things up. And I was in the middle of a project and now everything is everywhere. If my wife didn't want you here, I would have the cops here right now to arrest all of you.
Yes, well, it's fortunate your wife did want us here, so the Bobbies have no business being here at all.
Is there something I can help you with? Or would you kindly leave so I can put my study back together?
I think it would be
You have
best
nothing to
just
say
leave.
for yourselves. That makes sense, being the charlatans that I'm sure you all are.
Oh, yes, charlatans. Well, I do not believe there would have been need to call us in here if there was not truly something going on that you could not explain.
What could possibly be going on here? This is a house. It's a house with a strange history that my wife seems to think is horrible, and my child is an obnoxious child. He didn't used to be. I don't know what changed.
Edwin used to be so relaxed before. Has something been bothering you?
Bothering me? Nothing's bothering me except the fact that all four of you are here, and that my wife insists on calling you here, and there's not enough staff to run this house, and we're out of money, all of these things.
Well, as long as she's not in your head, Edwin, that's good.
What does that even mean? Who? My wife? Who could possibly, what are you referring to?
Have you been finding yourself conversing with voices that do not exist recently?
So, for this particular thing, he's going to try, we're going to make this a social combat, basically. So you're trying to get information from him, basically.
I'm gonna high society this month.
I like it. Okay. So,
I don't think Casanova's going to work on it.
so you're
Try.
you're asking if, say what you said again. What was your question again?
Now, from one gentleman to another, have you found yourself hearing or conversing with voices that perhaps others cannot hear?
Okay. So, make my roll. Oh my.
Stop it!
I'm never gonna get a roll.
Come on! What's up with your dice?
Yep.
Sixes.
That's 3 6s.
Wow.
I only
Don't-
have 3, so.
Don't look at me.
23.
Jordan is just
So, yeah?
sitting behind the camera staring at me.
I want different dice
Okay.
for you.
I can use different die. I don't know why these die. I've never been
Yeah,
able to
no,
do
let's
this
do it. I'm sure I can beat
So,
that.
23 so far.
23.
Oh, hey, one of them's a 6. So
Well,
I
you
got-
never
Maybe
know.
you keep rolling the
16?
6.
You're right. I got an 11.
33.
No, I got a 16. You're
I got
right, yeah.
another ace.
16. Oh yeah, I can do that. I can just ace this 4 times.
You have before.
Oh, it's a 5.
Okay.
I lose.
So, you will take a negative die for this, the purpose of this social
My
interaction.
21.
Yes. And he says,
Poppycock.
that makes no sense. Why would I? Who could possibly? What even sort of question is that?
Could I use my flapper it, like chatting people up thing? I was like, well, what he means is like, have you been sleeping okay? You've been having nightmares? You look tired. You talking? What are you dreaming about?
You asked
Tell me
quite
what
a
she's
bit
saying.
of questions, so I'll roll against you. Look, no aces. You got all the aces this time.
15.
I got. Oop, that was
Yes,
a 1 there.
15.
2,
Okay, so
All right.
14, 14.
You got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did I get him?
Yeah.
That's what you needed to do.
No. Instead of just the measly one
roll
ace
just for
that I
fun.
got.
Your responds better to flappers than it
36.
does to
Okay.
side to side.
Yeah. So he kind of looks at you for a second.
And I'm like, tell me about your dream.
And the fact that you just are so personable all of a sudden completely takes him off guard. It's just not at all what he expected. And he says, well, I guess I haven't been sleeping well, and everything's been very confusing lately. But I think it's just because we're in this new place, and I'm just not used to it yet. And as you know, and as I said, there's a weird history here that has everyone upset, and it's very confusing, and it's hard to not be affected by it.
I totally understand. What's been? I don't know if I should roll again or if I need to, but like, so, what's been so confusing?
Yeah, so make another roll for that.
And I'm just like, tell me more. Just like,
So you're rolling.
oh wow.
asking what's been more confusing?
Okay.
So- He got
We have no more rerolls.
Did he have fewer
12.
die because I won the social? Oh, he does. So I still. I have a
You
reroll.
got
I
a
have a reroll.
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna use
can
it.
reroll it.
Yeah, reroll it.
Woo! Almost got you.
Okay, so it's still against his 12.
Sorry, I shouldn't. I think.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
better.
Oh, and then
Yeah,
whatever.
you got over it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
So you asked him what has been so
Confusing.
confusing.
What specifically?
Well, it's just felt like I'm not, like, I don't know, I just don't feel like myself lately. I think it's just this place, and it's not what I'm used to, and it's not the amount of stuff that I'm used to, and there's more that I have to do about the house, and it's always raining here, and it's darker, and I don't know, everything just seems, my family just is so much more infuriating than I remember them being, but I don't know entirely what it is that they've done.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
Well, it's all right, it's just fact of life.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know. It's no, I don't know if I should lie. I don't think I need to lie about anything. I'm not gonna say anything. I was gonna lie about something. I was like, I don't think I need to.
Now,
Okay.
remind me, Edwin's brother was the previous lord, or his sister?
His uncle,
His uncle.
his dad's brother.
His dad's brother.
In the family, I'm gonna keep asking stuff.
Sure.
In the family history, have you heard of anyone named Nathaniel?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
10.
I got 10. I also got 10.
Oh wow.
Yay, reroll. This is in favor.
Come on!
And an ace.
Megan Ace. It's a Caves Calorman.
15.
19.
I don't normally do it.
Got 19.
19, and I got a 15, so you got above me. And he says, Nathaniel, I suppose that there could be someone in the family line, but not anyone I know of off the top of my head. Why would you... This is all very confusing. Why are you asking me such a thing?
Well, we're just investigating everything like your wife asked us to. it's a part of it. I really appreciate you talking to us about this.
Yes, well, I mean, she called you here for a reason, I suppose. If anything else, at least it makes her feel better.
Were there any rumors, perhaps, of another daughter that your aunt had?
Okay. We'll roll for this.
What is Casanova?
Casanova?
Roll Casanova.
You win them.
You know how people sometimes have more children than they want other people to know.
So you're wild oats.
Oh, it's a tie. Too
Oh,
bad.
man, this is a high stakes
man.
roll off. 4?
Oh, God, what was
Another
it?
tie. Okay.
2. Wow!
I have a reroll.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Because you'd be knocked out.
Nova.
You'd be so shamed.
Oh, wait, I'm not re-rolling. I just had a 2. So you beat me.
Okay.
Right, he says, what was your question? You were asking if you knew if there's another daughter.
Casanova skill is so tiring, right? It's like, do you? Please?
He says, as far as I know, there was just the one daughter. I can't imagine. I didn't know Lord Silas. My brother always spoke well of him. I mean, my father always spoke well of him, but I think it was just Caroline. But I don't. This is all too much to handle, and I need to put my study back together since I don't know what happened here. It's fine. Like I said, Lorraine wants you here, so I'll just take care of it myself. But if you could please leave me so I can finish fixing my study.
Very well. But in the future, you should load the guns on your wall in case of emergency like a proper Englishman.
He just kind of looks at you like that just makes zero sense
Yes,
in
well.
that situation.
You're not going to be prepared when the Germans come again.
That is not.
I know they're just sleeping.
That is not a funny thing to make jokes about.
No, it's not. You must always be prepared.
So he
We will
goes.
take our leave of you, Lord Silas.
Yes, I would very much appreciate that.
Give him a little wink. So I'm very catching over you right now. Really overextended myself on that last one.
I'm close. You're about to faint.
Yeah.
So now you have this vial and this candy that you found, and you have this photo that you found earlier and this journal that you found.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you all like to head next?
I think perhaps we should talk to the groundskeeper. He is the one who's been here the longest, and we must find out who this A person is.
I would like to know too. Wait, sorry, what?
Nothing.
What was the question you were asking when you saw your vision?
I was asking about if there was a certain object in the room of the study that the supernatural force was angered about. But I saw water and sand and a paper boat and a game like a tic-tac-toe drawn in the sand. But the liquid of this vial could easily be the water in my vision.
Yeah.
I was a little scatterbrained because there were books all over the place.
I'm wondering if this has anything to do with the candy wrapper we found before, or if they've been combined.
That seems far too much of a coincidence to be.
Well, my thought is that Aiden's being poisoned.
I agree with your assertion there. I thought it may be mere suspicion at this point, but if this vial has some sort of harmful tincture, then I believe it could be in our best interest to find out quickly before the man does any more harm to his own child.
Yeah.
So, as you all are standing here, you, I assume you were out in the hall, or
We're moving towards the
moving towards-
groundskeeper.
Okay.
Can I stop for a moment and take it out? And I want to just like pour a couple drops of it, and then try and use my pendulum divining to see if it's a harmful substance. Or
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Okay, so you're seeing if it's harmful. Just roll basic. So that's 9.
Yay! I got a bunch.
Twice. See, there are your aces.
Yeah, but I need them now. I need them now. Oh, good. I'm not gonna pass out if it's not harmful.
You got another!
It just keeps going.
They keep going. Okay, so as you hold your pendulum over, you
When I
wait.
was hunting.
You wait for it to steady once again, and then it does, and it begins to spin in a circle, which is, as you know, yes.
I believe that there is harmful intent that is around this liquid. So I believe that our worst fears are in fact likely confirmed. Whether this man is being driven to poison his son through some sort of sickness of the mind or through more malicious purposes, I think that we should inform the mother as soon as we can. What say you all?
It's probably a good idea.
Well, this is not good news to bring to anyone. But it seems that if there is some sort of pattern emerging, that the continuing sickness within the family brought on by the necroplasm within these walls, then, well,
If I may, I have a bad feeling about this. I feel that we should keep it to ourselves at the moment.
well, if things continue to escalate, then it will be my duty to have to tell. I do not believe we can let a child come to harm simply because they're not
Well, Horace, what do you think happens after we tell the wife that her husband is poisoning their child?
It is a tough pill to swallow, but with evidence we could perhaps get her to remove him from the estate. Fine. Go somewhere where he is...
But if he is already doing harm to their child, do you not think that he'll do something to his
Well,
wife?
it is certainly a possibility, but
If
the best time for her to act on it is when the four of us are here to back her up.
If this situation mirrors the one that has happened previously, the father hears voices, much as Lord Edwin hears voices. He becomes increasingly frustrated with his family, yes?
Paranoid mad, yes.
And then mysteriously, Lord Silas's daughter drowned in a pool. Who's to say that mysteriously Lord Edwin's son doesn't die of his sickness?
I am prone to agree with you here.
So perhaps then I posit the theory, since you are a educated man, yes, that the killing of a child is the effect and not the cause of this ongoing pattern.
I'm not sure I follow what you mean there. Either way, what is the result of continuing along the path of disease is the death of poor Aiden. And I believe that it is our utmost duty to prevent that.
I definitely agree, but if there is a voice inside Lord Edwin's head, as there was in Lord Cyrus's head, it is up to us to find the source of this voice and quiet it.
Very
Find the
well.
real cause.
I do not disagree, but if it comes to it, I believe that removing Aiden from this environment is the most prudent course of action.
I quite agree.
So you all are discussing this as you're heading to the groundskeepers. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at this point, you arrive at the groundskeeper, and I assume you knock on the door. Okay.
Yeah.
So you knock, and you kind of hear like some shuffling, and then the door opens, and it kind of just opens a little bit, and he says, "What? What do you all want?"
Yes, well, sorry to have to bother you once again, but we have come for your expertise in the family and the estate.
Why? What could you possibly want to know about the estate? I don't have time for this. I have other things to do. And he starts to close the door.
Well,
I push the door open.
I'm wondering if you would have any familiarity with the picture of this young woman who we have found.
He looks at it for a second. He kind of stops and looks at it, and then he says, "They just reminded me he's Irish." I forgot about that. Well, I don't. No, I have to remember Irish. Irish. I
you do an
don't
Irish
know who
accent?
that is. I can't. I don't know how to do one. I don't know who that is. That picture you have there means nothing to me.
Come now. Bluffing will do no good.
All right, so at this point, we're going to move back into a social conflict. So let me find where this guy is here.
Where I excel.
Okay. So
We can get him down to about half a die.
let's make
Come on,
this.
ropes.
So you're trying to.
Trying to command a servant, that feels high society.
You are,
right?
yes, it definitely feels high society. Okay, so he is going to use. Where do you keep going? Loyalty.
Ooh, wow.
Should I roll? I mean,
No.
it's worth rolling.
I got 3 6s in a row.
Yeah.
Does no one else think that she should use different dice?
I can use different dice. I have other dice.
No, it's like
That's amazing.
I could roll,
I don't know.
Sure, they'd all need to ace twice.
Wow! 2 more of
Come
those.
on!
Oh my god.
That's okay. Let's try, right? I got an 8.
Wow.
I think she's up to about
Wow.
30 something.
I don't know what's happening. Okay, all right, here, I'll get new die. Here's my new die.
I think it's because the corners are all smooth. And we've got
Okay,
these.
guys, I got
look at these.
Casanova.
Anyway, so you're trying,
One
and
die.
he,
George still loves me.
he just looks at you. He just looks at you, and it's like, I mean, he's if it weren't for what I assume someone's foot in the door, he would have already slammed it by now.
Will you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Defo got the foot in the door and the like. Nope.
Can I be like, do you have any tea? I hear you Brits love tea.
Tea.
He's Irish.
Come in and can we come in and have some? Can we come in and have some whiskey? You got some whiskey? I'm dying for some.
Well, I do have whiskey, but I don't know that I want to share it with you. Well, that's
Well, is it 6?
yeah. This is a 6.
Oh my gosh.
Megan!
Nope, I got 16.
16, 17, 18, 19.
Nope,
Nah.
nope, done.
You already beat it.
I'm not in a sharing mood.
He starts trying to, like, he's actively trying to. Now, if you all don't mind, I have other things to do right now than talk to a bunch of people who are just probably taking the lady of the house's money for no good
That's
reason.
it.
All right.
St. George, sick him.
You're gonna sick your
Can
dog
I
on
sick the dog on it?
Yep. Okay,
Hunting?
let's
Yeah,
see
right?
here. So you're using hunting.
And to like slam him down and just sit
Yeah,
on
I
top
figure
of him.
I'll just like get St. George
So-
to like bite his leg, and then I can just push him over and be like,
This guy is a gardener, so he's doing a lot of like hard work all the time. So I'm going to say this is essentially his strength at trying to shut the door despite your foot before the dog can get through.
man, this guy gets 4 on everything.
All right. So he got
12.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Well, I need 2 6s. Nope.
You got
6.
a 6 total instead. So he manages to basically slam, like push you out of the way and slam the door before the dog comes through. And he comes to the door, the window, and he's like, "You're just what I thought you would be, trying to sick your dog on me. What horrible people you are."
Is this door locked now?
You could try it.
Because that is where. Talk to a person. No, open the door. Maybe.
All right, so you're going to try to open the door. So you're essentially rolling against the door. So this will be different. You're not rolling against him necessarily. Okay, so
Well
you
done.
aced it. I got a 6. You already beat me. So you are able to go over to the door, and it seems like as he shut it, he basically didn't have enough time. He was so irritated by it, he was yelling that out the window that he didn't quite get to locking it. So you're actually able to open
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna open it, and then I'm gonna try to use a patented Bono magician sparks and smoke to try to intimidate him, or like throw smoke down and light fire over, like,
Okay.
and say something like, "You dare withhold information from those people your lady has hired to find out what happens in this house?"
Okay. All right. So we'll roll his loyalty against that.
Yeah, it was 2 6s.
I think that's it. Yep, those are 2 6.
Come on!
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
The
Yeah.
answer is yes. Yes, he does. He dares do that.
Yes, he does.
We'll be leaving.
I will protect this family for as long as I have to, no matter if they are the living family or the dead family. And he tries to push you out the door.
Man, we really blew that.
I got nothing left.
Can you, with your empathy,
Calm him down?
I mean,
Try.
All right.
Worth a shot.
I feel like Casanova isn't gonna work against this guy.
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe. He might be into it. Would I get in trouble? What'd I do?
You're not getting in trouble. Jordan's just trying to mime things at me. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Well, those are ones. That's like aces, but
Doing great.
the
He
opposite.
is not having it. Now, yes, that is something. That you can also pump your die. You can pump your rolls. So remember, you can, like, if you have 4, you could add up to 4 die, except you will be out.
I forgot we could do that.
Yeah, you'll be out your 4 if you do
Oh,
that.
I already did something. Never mind.
Okay, in that case, I want to. I've got 2 high society left. Mm-hmm. I want to pump it by 2.
Okay.
Well, then I would just be out,
You would be
even if I succeeded.
No, well, yes, if you succeed, you would be for a high society, at least for a while. But it's social, so it's not like it knocks you out. It's just like
Yeah.
you're
Until it's over.
Yeah, when you're pumping it, you're basically.
I guess that's effectively the same as
Like, yeah.
it is now. So
Okay, so what are you trying to utilize here or say?
I'll just be like, well, your duty should be to the living child, who we are trying to help.
Okay. I don't know if this is. It is not. That's a 1. But that is.
Yep.
10, 11, 12, 13,
All right, well,
14, 15,
got
16,
2
17.
I got
You
2
ace
sixes.
twice. I'm 17.
12, 13, 14, 15.
You should be able to beat me here. Yep.
Yay! And then I pass out.
It's basically.
I was too high society-ish.
And then, yes. So whenever you talk about this child and this family, he stops and he says, "Well, for once you actually do make a good point. I do want this family to be safe, but I'm not sure that you all are the people who can keep them safe. What is it that you want
Can I
from
make
me?"
another point, even though I'm out?
If you've been here, you've seen what's happened before, and you know that it could happen again.
I don't know what happened before could happen again in that way. And then he kind of realizes what he said and stops talking. Can I have another water? Anyone else?
I can.
So you guys you already tried to show him the photo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do
Can
you have?
I, this is what I want to do. I don't know if it makes any sense, but I want to sort of reverse pickpocket him and put the photo in his pocket, and then like appeal to the fact that there's weird, mysterious things going on.
We already showed him the photo, though.
What if it shows up in his pocket? Is it gonna? I just want to try to.
It's
It's either that or straight talking.
Like haunt him with the photo.
Yeah, haunt him with the photo.
I don't know if that's gonna be enough.
You could try.
Let's see what he does.
It's either that or talk sexy to him.
So
That's what I got.
Well, yeah. Okay,
Well, he's
so you're
at
trying
3
to
now. Or should be.
He is.
So.
All right. Yeah.
So you're using magician?
Yeah. I'm gonna pump it too.
Okay. Okay. But pump it by 2?
Pump it by 2.
Okay. All right. 8, 9, 10, 11.
I got more than that.
Okay, you got more than that. So
Yeah.
you take 2 negative to your magician.
That's a thief.
Thief. Oh, right. You're trying to pickpocket. And you are able to pickpocket, or you're able to plant the photo
trying to
basically
put
in his
Yeah,
pocket. You are able to put the photo in his pocket.
Alright. Okay, and then I'll say, strange things have been happening. That photo haunts us, as I'm sure it haunts you too.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Look about yourself. Does it not follow you everywhere?
No, photos don't normally. And he kind of like puts his hand in his pockets, and then he pulls this out. And he's like, "No, photos don't normally haunt me, but I don't know. This is not a photo I've ever seen before."
Your former mistress did not have more than one child that roamed these grounds?
He looks at you for a really long time when you say that. And he...
Well, I can look at him too, because that's one thing I'm good at.
And
Looking
he it's like he's thinking, like he's deciding, and he says, she only had the one.
Did she know?
All right, let's poison this.
Perhaps
gonna
you want some
tr- I'm
tea?
gonna
We've
tr-
got something to spike it with.
I'm gonna try again. We're just worried about the child who's here now. Can you
Okay.
talk to us a little?
Okay.
There's one ace.
That's, you
Seven,
also
Alright.
ace, so I have 8,
Is that 12 so far?
There's another.
Wait,
9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
11, 13,
16.
13, 16.
We both got 16. Holy crap.
Oh,
Okay,
that's go crazy.
okay, I
Oh,
got
thank
5.
It's a 5.
All right, you beat
Okay.
me with your. Okay, so you said you're just trying to help, and he says, "Well, that does seem to be what you're doing. Although I don't know why you're sicking dogs on me if you're just trying to help. But
He's a scientist.
How many dice?
what does that have to do with a dog?
What's he down to now?
He's down to 1.
Over yet?
He's down to 1.
Sometimes people who are difficult to deal with lead me to extreme measures.
Sick dogs on people. That seems like a very strange scientific method you have there.
You and I are both passionate men. We both know.
Are you Casanovaing?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Get yourself knocked out or something.
We know that people have emotions. We will do nothing to expose any foul feelings of your old mistress. We simply wish to know if she had a second child, for things keep haunting my visions.
Okay.
Do you have any more?
No, we have no more rerolls.
Thrown up. So dramatic.
All right, so the two of us are just like, we can't deal with this guy anymore.
So he kind of, when you said that,
My wings are working.
he misses.
Worth it, Fano.
He misses most of what you say because the first thing you said was so strange. He's just like, what kind of man are you referring to? And he just gets hooked on that he misses everything else you say.
But if you can't appeal to a man's passions, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, so you guys are just like flabbergasted by him at this point. And also it looks like we might go a little bit long. So opposite of last time. If that's okay with everybody. Okay.
I'm trying to ask sort of the same question, just phrased like, we found this and we think it was hidden. And we want to see if we know what happened.
Okay. That's an ace.
All right.
But you also
Oh,
ace, so you have 7. And I have 10, so you...
Or 12.
Oh, you have more than that.
12.
I didn't see your other die.
13.
Yeah, okay.
Hey!
So he kind of looks at all of you and sighs, and he says, I made a promise to Elizabeth to never share any of this information with anyone. And I promised this to her before she took her own life. And it's something that I've kept this whole time. I've protected this house this whole time, but you make a good point, and I have noticed some things that remind me of that awful time when that whole family perished. And I don't want it to happen again. This family seems to be a good family, and they don't deserve it. The Bainbridges don't deserve anything more like this. So come in, I have something to show you. So he motions all of you inside.
I stick my dog on him.
He's like, whoa! And he shuts the door, and he goes over to there's like a cabinet, but he reaches underneath it. So it's not actually like it would be a cabinet that you pull open, but instead he reaches underneath it. It's kind of down at the bottom of the floor. And he starts to pull something out, and as he does, you hear this. And he kind of stops. Is that one of you?
No.
No.
But when he hears that, he kind of gets this scare. He looks terrified. He starts to breathe a bit faster. and now he looks completely. He tries to continue to pull whatever it is out as fast as he can, but before he can, there's a candlestick behind him that comes flying across the room, hits him in the head, and completely knocks him out. And we're moving into another combat here.
Are we refreshed?
Yes, you're completely refreshed for this
Yay.
combat. So, basically, sorry, 1 second. So, after that happens, he's unconscious on the floor, and you are standing over near a window, and there happens to be a cord in the window, and it wraps around your neck and starts to pull you up towards the ceiling. All right, so you all have a chance to do something here.
Can I cut it? Cut the cord? with
Yeah,
a
you
knife?
can try to cut it.
Wait, what cord are you cutting?
That one that's around his neck.
Oh, right, got it.
You're using your knife wielding to try and cut the cord. Okay. Okay, so you roll.
9.
All right.
Ooh!
That is a 1.
Yay, you rolled
1,
bad.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Ooh,
Also rolled 9. Wow. Okay.
Oh no. This is 5 dice?
Yep.
Son of a...
Oh,
Okay.
so
so
12
that's
plus. Ooh, 18,
fine. Nice.
19.
I got 22.
Ah, he still beat me. Wow.
All right, so as you go over, you try. He's being starting. The cord is starting to pull him up towards the ceiling, and you're trying to reach up there, and you're trying to cut it, but it just isn't coming yet.
If I use Snoop to try to find something to do it.
To find something to use to help cut it. Okay, so you're gonna snoop about the room and see if you can find maybe like a paper opener or something, a letter opener or something. Okay, so you got
Meg's got 1 AC.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
Yep,
18,
that's the
19,
second
20,
one on
21,
that.
22, 23,
Whoa.
24. You aced as well,
Got
so
10.
you have 10. So roll it again.
Good.
Keep
That's
acing.
just as good. And then a 5.
Okay, so you look around the room, and this is so upsetting, and you can feel the energy. He's terrified. He's just absolutely terrified, and everyone is getting upset. The dog is barking. St. George is clearly very upset, doesn't understand what's happening, and you're so that is overwhelming you so much that you can't figure out what to find in the room.
I'm gonna try to kind of escape artist magician myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna escape from handcuffs. Handcuffs around your neck are basically the same.
Okay, yeah. So
Oh.
you're using magician for this?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pump it by 2.
Okay.
On account of almost being strangled to death.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. Wow. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
17. Yeah, I got it from that. Yeah, 20.
Yay.
Nice. Okay, so you are able to maneuver your way, because yes, this is something that you've done before. Get out of tricky situations.
Sure.
So you're able to finally pull it off.
Yeah, but it
and
catches my
get away.
cloak with all my cool whiz bangs and smoke bombs, so that's gonna really
It does. It does. And after
Yeah.
after you do that, you notice that the gardener in his shack here has a few shears on the other side of the room, and they go flying across the room right at you, and they look like they're aiming right for your heart,
Okay.
right for your chest. So go ahead, and try and dodge that.
Okay, I'm gonna flapper it. Get those flapper instincts, cops, the whole thing. There's also a dance move where you right down onto the ground.
Right? Yep. Those are all really surprisingly helpful in life. Okay.
4, 5,
So
6.
12. Ooh.
Yep.
12, that's an ace. So, what is that? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. Okay. So you try to dodge out of the way, and as you start to move, the shears end up going right past your arm, and they slice you right through the arm.
Alright.
So you take 1 die negative there. All right, so
Okay, so I want to grab my pendulum and hold it out and use it to try and figure out like where the next like force is coming from.
okay.
And then when it like shoots in that direction, I want to like turn and like grab whatever is coming at me and
Okay.
like
All right, sounds
counter
good.
it.
I like it.
And I'm going to pump it by 2.
Okay.
So
So you'll roll
6 versus 6.
So your rolling gets 4 now.
Or, well, yeah.
But still.
Fuck you.
Whoa, what is this die doing? I think it's a 1.
Okay, I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
I got 8. So you are holding the pendulum out, and you're trying to, even though there are things happening around you, you're trying to steady it, and you focus on it, and you think, okay, basically you're asking it where the energy feels more intense right now, and it takes just a moment, and then it shoots out to your left, and over at your left there seems to be a big, like, heavy bust, like a statue bust, that looks like it's about to come flying at you. So you are prepared. As it does come flying at you, you're able to just completely dodge out of the way, and it just shatters behind you.
Cool.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to do?
Bastard!
Don't know what I could do.
You could use impact to try and calm whatever it is. You could you could try your snoop again. Last time you
Yeah,
got.
let's try Snoop again.
Okay. All right. So you're trying to snoop to find some sort of object here in the room.
What is that?
7. Gen
Gen
Con?
Ace?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And okay, so you got an 8. Okay, so you again, there's this overwhelming just anger and fear in this room, and you are so distracted by it, you can't even focus on where to find something. Okay, and then as you were trying to do that, there's a block of kitchen knives. This shack has basically 2 rooms, but they're fairly open, and you just see all those knives lift into the air, and they come right at you.
Oh no. Okay, well I guess I'm gonna try to slink using my thief ability.
Okay. All right.
Try to
Slink
hide
out of the
from
way.
it. Yeah.
Turn sideways.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna. Yeah.
You're gonna pump. Oh, no. Okay, I got 8, 9, 10, 11.
I got 13.
You got 13. So you are able to, yes, essentially get out of the way before, and they all just land at the wall behind you, and they're just all right in the wall. Like they would have gone right into you had you not gotten out of the way. All right, anyone else like to do anything at this point? What you notice here, and by comparison to what attacked you before, is that there is not a central location. It seems to be coming from everywhere. The whole room, everything is disruptive, and it seems to be very, very aggressive.
I'd say since I've gathered all these energies, even if they're bad, I can kind of like harness them and try to put it back out and calm it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you're trying to calm the energy. 7.
Woo.
Yeah.
Easy beat.
11. So you have
6.
Much
looks
more.
like you already beat that, and
a
you have an
great
ace.
deal more.
Nice. Okay.
Hooray
so,
for 4 dice.
as you realize that there's so many emotions that you have to just focus on that. You try to block everything else out, taking in all of this negative anger and fear, and you just try to start to calm it and soothe it. And as you do that, you feel almost like if there was someone. Sometimes the way you feel energy is as if it's embodied, like there's someone there. It almost feels like someone stops and just kind of looks at you, and you feel just the tiniest bit of love coming at you. But then it still, there's still the anger and everything else, and it kind of goes back to where it was.
All right, I have a silly idea. Okay. I want to stand up and just like stomp my foot and be like,
Whatever you are, you're English, and this is improper.
and try and use high society
I'll take it.
to shame the spirit.
All right. They got a 5.
I got
And
2
you-
6s.
Very much.
This
So
is the most high societalness I've ever been.
as you do that, you stand up and you stomp, and things have like started to fly around the room at this point, and so there are things on the floor, things everywhere. And as you do that, you disrupt a few things around your feet as well as you stomp and you say that, and you just feel like everything in the room drops, and there's just sort of you feel just sort of this energy of almost something that's startled, and then the door flies open and slams shut, and everything has stopped. So, Mr. Crane, the groundskeeper, is still unconscious on the floor, but you do notice that where he was trying to get under that cabinet, something has actually fallen out, and this is what you find.
The first entry is June 24th, 1887. And that takes place before
minute.
everything.
Just before. No.
quite some
no,
time.
Not just before. No, October. Okay.
It seems to be a female's handwriting. It's hard when Silas is away, and he's been away so often as of late. I know it's not his choice. He has a duty to his country, but it's lonely here without him. I'm grateful for the staff and my duties in running the house. They keep me busy, but it isn't the same. I should venture into town more, but I just find the ladies of Harrogate so dull. Next entry is August 20th, 1887. I've done something that on this morning, in the clear light of day, I don't fully understand. Or rather, I do understand, but it's different today. It's not in my character. There was a terrible and violent storm last night, so bad that we had to shutter the windows to keep them from shattering. The poor traveler ended up on our doorstep late last evening, a soldier. Some of the staff did not wish to let him in, but there are not many places to take shelter near here. The town is another 5 miles south of Bainbridge Estate, and I refuse to turn away a person in need of help. And so dreadful and help on so dreadful a night. His name was Nathaniel, and he was beautiful. It was striking. We found a warm room for him in the East Wing, but apparently his nights are as restless as mine, and we crossed paths. I have been so lonely, and he was so enchanting. I have been unfaithful to my husband, and this morning Nathaniel is gone, left before even the staff were awake. I love Silas. This is something I would never do, but it has happened. In the morning light, I am full of shame. These do not feel like my actions. I do not know how I will live with this guilt. October 10th, 1887. It has been 2 months since the soldier appeared on my doorstep, and I fear I am with child. I have sent to Dr. Mackenzie in town that I will be calling upon him this afternoon. Whatever shall I do? October 15th, 1887. I have confidence in Mr. Crane, the details of my dire situation. I was certain he would dismiss me outright, but he's always been kind to me, and this time is no different. I knew if anyone would keep my secret, he would. He said I could arrange to travel north to Scotland for the duration of my pregnancy. The staff can run the house without me for a time, and he promised to keep an eye on things. He has a cousin with small manor where I can stay while I have given birth. I don't know what else to do. If anyone in Harrogate finds out about this child and what I have done, my life would be ruined. Silas would throw me out. I will never forgive myself for this. April 30th, 1888. It is time for me to return to Bainbridge. Silas is coming home soon, and I am ready to return. I have named her Adriana. She's the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. I had arranged for her to be adopted, but I find I cannot bear to part with her. I didn't know I could have loved anything so much. I have written to Mr. Crane, and he has begun to search for new staff members who know how to be discreet. She will take Adriana in as her own in my household. That way I can live with my daughter and still keep my secret. I know it won't be easy, but it's all I can think to do. December 4th, 1888. I did not think I would be with child again this soon. This, as far as Silas and the majority of the staff are concerned, will be my first. Since Silas has returned, the whole house has been brightened. I hope his stay will be longer this time. July 9th, 1889. Caroline. Beautiful Caroline has arrived, and I couldn't be happier. She is wonderful, and my world is festive. It feels terrible to even write this, but it is nice to have a daughter I don't have to hide for a change. November 3rd, 1891. Adriana is getting along well. I spend time with her when I can, though it isn't easy. Mr. Crane helps me keep an eye on her. I can tell he cares for her too, for both my daughters, but he knows Adriana's life isn't as easy as Caroline's. But Adriana has everyone wrapped around her finger. I can't ever see her wanting for much. September 23rd, 1893. Caroline is a beautiful child, but she insists on testing every boundary there is. We have had to nail down all heavy objects or more to high shelves. We've had to gate the pool, block off the kitchen, and keep the bathroom doors shut. Sometimes I think she is actively trying to make me lose my mind. The joys of motherhood. April 20th, 1984. I fear that Adriana is growing jealous. She does not know that I am her birth mother. As much as it has pained me to keep the secret from her, I thought it would be better for her to overall not know. She clearly enjoys her time with me, but I her. But I had to make my peace years ago with the knowledge that I would never be able to mother her like I can Caroline. And Mary is good to her and good to me. It does sometimes appear, though, that Adriana resents Caroline's position in my life. I can't be sure of this, but when they play together, something has changed. I hate that my own selfishness has put her in this position. It should not be like this. And the last entry, second to last. September 25th, 1894. Silas has grown distant since his return from Cartoon. I know he has a hard time distancing himself from this past, but he spends more time in his study and more time at the bottom of his bottle than he does with us anymore. I don't know how to help him. October 30th, 1894. I think Mary has gone and I think Mary may have told Adriana who she is. I forbid her to do so, but Adriana has a way of getting what she wants. I don't know what to do other than to wait for Adriana to ask.
As I suspected. A natural child. Bastard out of shame.
So this is where we will end tonight, now that they have discovered that there is another child that Elizabeth had. And we will pick up next week for the last episode of Mysterium at Bainbridge Estate to learn more about this Adriana. So thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you all. Thank Jordan and Dom back there for doing all of the things that you do. No, don't thank you?
Yeah,
Why?
Jordan's saying no, so.
Jordan says no.
So fuck
okay,
Jordan.
Yeah, not thank you then. I take it back. This things happen. This is cool. This is fun. This is my, I guess, technically third time jamming now. Anyway, trying to find all of the papers that I have here. All right, so does anyone have anything that they would like to plug before we go?
come back on Friday for the season finale of Wild Cards.
Yes.
It's gonna be right here.
It's going to be pretty crazy, yes. Anything else? You can tell them where they can find you on social as well, if you'd like.
Sure. Geek your heart out on everything. Twitter and Instagram.
What about you?
You can find me at Heather Wood on Twitter with 2 underscores between Heather and Wood. And I'm on Instagram as well. But I don't,
Yeah, it's good. Both of those are really awesome social media websites where you can find Heather. You should do it. What about you?
You can find me here next week at 8 o'clock, where we'll find out what happens at Bainbridge Estate.
That's our last game.
It is.
Yeah.
It is the very last game. It'll be next
the finale.
Monday, 8 p.m. Finale of this little mini series we have here. And thank you guys so much for everything that you donated, for just being here, for just whatever, and just that you're here. It's just like, I don't know, I'm amazed about all of these things. Anyway, but thank you so much. And if you liked the audio that you heard tonight, some of it is from Plate Mail Games, which is Wes Otis's company. Some of it is also some random sprinkling of things that I found, which I do have a playlist for on YouTube, which I will post once again if you would like to access any of that. And definitely check out Plate Mail Games. He's got some amazing background tracks that you just heard actually during the fight with the 2 spirits that they fought this evening. And our next show tomorrow is the final League of Adventure. So you can jump ahead a decade into the 1930s and find out what's going on with them. It's sort of an Indiana Jones style show. So check that out. Wednesday we have Iron Keep, which is our D&D show. I'm on that show. It's a lot of fun. It's 5e D&D. It's 8 p.m. on this channel. And then Friday, of course, yes, is Wild Cards, our season finale of Wild Cards, season 3. It's crazy that we're already here. I can't believe that. But that's our Savage Worlds Deadlands Reloaded show. And then on Sunday, 5 p.m., Tempting Fate is back. Season premiere. I believe they're doing a Toy Story show. And they've got, guest Kelly Nugent and Amy Vorpal will be on there. So you should check those things out. And then you can find me on Twitter at Megan Caves. It's MEGHANCAVES. Keep up with us with the hashtag Mysterium RPG on all of the social media platforms. I do post things throughout the week, clips. There's little bits of information about each character out there that you can find. It's also on our Patreon, which you can check out. It's our Saving Throw Show Patreon. You get access to lots of cool things, so feel free to check that out. And yeah, I think I did it all. I think I got it all. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so be here next week because it's going to be exciting. So thank you all. Bye.